A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. You receive a call that a fatal accident has occurred at a Hollywood motion picture studio. Your job? Investigate. Here's what a leading tobacco publication and the nation's press have had to say about king-size Chesterfields.
U.S. Tobacco Journal, Atlanta, Georgia. Chesterfield king size is going strong. One jobber reordered twice this week, in addition to his regular order.
And the Herald Tribune reported, king size is a sellout. Extra supplies of Chesterfields rush to dealers here.
The reason for king-size Chesterfield's amazing success is this. All king-size cigarettes give you quantity, but only Chesterfield king-size gives you quantity plus quality, premium quality.
That means Chesterfield king size contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette. The same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield. Enough more of this tobacco to give you more than a 1/5 longer smoke.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em. Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. Much milder.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Friday, August 5th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Warman. My name's Friday. It was 2:25 p.m. when we got to the Winton Picture Studios. Stage 2.
Better check the guard over there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Police officers, about the accident, where do we find Mr. Adams?
Oh, yeah, I said look for you. Let's see, I saw him around here a minute ago. Oh, there he is, over there by that office set. See him, the one in the blue suit? One with the gray hair?
Yeah, that's him. Thank you very much.
I know. You can check with the office. If they can come up with an idea, I'll go for it. All I know is that we got to have this turkey finished. Yeah, something you want?
Yes, you Gerald Adams?
That's right.
Police officers. My ID card.
Oh, yeah. You're Friday, huh?
Yes, sir. It's my partner, Frank Smith.
Yeah, how you doing?
Hi.
How much you know about this?
Well, a doctor down at Georgia Street told us that Henry Wilson had an accident. Is that right?
Yeah, he was the director. At least he thought he was.
I wonder if we could see where the accident happened.
Yeah, sure. Over in stage 1, just across the way. Hold on a minute, will you? I'd like to talk to Sam for a minute, try to get things organized here, get things moving.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Just wait here. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Quite a place, huh, Joe?
Yeah, a lot of room. It's a big stage, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, all this the average person doesn't stop to think about.
What's that?
You know, a fella lays out 85 cents to see a movie. Never thinks about all the people, all the equipment that goes into making it possible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Terrible thing. We're 12 days behind schedule now. This will probably knock a couple more days off. The exec's going to scream like an eagle when he sees what this opus is costing. Here, right through the story.
Right.
One's right over there.
Yes, sir. Wonder if you'd mind filling us in on this thing.
Yeah, sure. What can I do to help?
Well, if you can tell us how the body was found, who found it, how the accident occurred.
Well, as near as I can figure, it must have happened about 12:10, 12:15. Crew had broken for lunch. Most of them were over at the commissary. I came down from the office and wanted to talk to Henry about tomorrow's schedule. Want to try to change some of the shots, make them more simple. He wasn't in the lunchroom, so I went ahead and had lunch.
Uh-huh.
About, I think it was about 12:40, Al Evans, the greenery man, came in and told me he'd found Henry's body. A lamp had fallen on him. Darn fool yelled it so loud that everybody in the place heard him.
I see.
Well, I came right over. First, it looked like Henry was dead. He'd lost a lot of blood. Felt his pulse. Found out he was still alive. That's when I had the ambulance called. Here we are. Go right in.
Thank you.
Over here by the house set.
Yeah.
At the time those big doors were open, the green men were putting in the shrubbery here. After I found out about the accident, I had the doors closed so people wouldn't be roaming in and out.
Are the doors usually left open?
Usually are. When there's no shooting on the stage, when we're using it, they're closed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right here's where he was found. You can see the lamp, but the sun arc must have hit him right about here. Poor guy.
Yes, sir. Is that where the lamp fell from, up there?
Yeah. Yeah, there you can see on the scaffolding where it was. Between the babies, there's space there.
Who puts the lamps up there?
Well, it's in the gaffer's department. He's in charge of them.
Wonder if we could talk to him.
Yeah, sure. He's over in 2. I'll call him.
Thank you.
Big lamp, huh?
Yeah. Sure smashed up, isn't it?
Gee, that thing must weigh a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah, look up there. It's quite a drop. Figure it's about 40 feet up there. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, that anyway.
He's on his way over.
What's your position here, Mr. Adams?
I'm production supervisor, unit manager. A lot of names for it. I try to take care of the running of the company as far as this one picture is concerned, to make out the budgets, work on the schedule, the director, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Really hard to say just what my job is, so I do a little of everything.
Yes, sir.
You fellas from homicide?
Yes, sir, that's right.
Do you think that there's something wrong here? Maybe Henry's accident wasn't an accident or something?
Well, it's just that in any death where there isn't a doctor in attendance at the time of death, we have to look into it. It's just routine.
I thought for a minute you might think there was something fishy about this. That's all we need. Have murder on the set. Might as well fold up.
Oh, hi, Jerry. You want to see me?
Yeah, Dick, these officers like to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
This is Mr. Friday, Mr. Smith, Dick Patterson, our gaffer.
How are you?
Hi, Mr. Patterson.
What do you want to know?
Well, Mr. Adams here tells us that you were in charge of installing those lamps. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Are you trying to say I had anything to do with causing Henry's death?
Oh, no, sir. We didn't say that.
Well, then what are you saying?
Well, we're just trying to get the facts straight.
No need to get upset, now, Dick.
Well, what are you talking about? These cops come in here try to make out I didn't put those lamps in right?
That's not what they said.
Well, don't you think I feel bad enough? Henry was a good friend of mine. We've been together a long time. I don't know how the lamp got loose.
I wonder if we could look at its mounting.
Sure. I've been wanting to get up there anyway to look at it myself. But Jerry here said not to touch anything till you guys got here.
Okay. How do we get up there?
There's a ladder back here at the rear of the stage. I can't understand it, Mr. Friday. I've been hanging lamps for a long time. It's going on 20 years. First time anything like this ever happened. Oh, here it is, just going up.
Okay.
Hey, watch your step. Hey, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get there down this way.
They use these walks to hang the lights on, do they?
Yeah, you got to be awfully careful, though. Watch your step. It's a long way down.
Yeah.
Once in a while, if you want a real high shot of the scene, we lift the camera up here. Mostly, though, it's used just for lights. Here it is. Now you can see there where the light was.
Yes, sir. Oh, appreciate it if you didn't touch anything. You just stand back there.
Sure.
Now, the base of the lamp went through this hole there, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look at the one over there, same way.
Yeah. Do you have anything else securing the lights once they're tied down?
No, sir. Once they're in place, the weight of the thing itself will hold it.
Mm-hmm. In other words, you drill this hole and you place the lamp in the hole, and it could. It doesn't look like the wood is chipped, does it?
No, these scaffolds are pretty new. This stage hasn't been up more than a year.
Mm-hmm. Well, from what you can see, Mr. Patterson, can you figure out how the lamp might have fallen? How it could have broken loose?
Oh, I'll tell you, officer. Bob, that's my best boy. Bob and I were over here last night checking the lights on the set. Now, I didn't actually get up here myself, but Bob did. Now, he's a good boy. He's been around a long time, doesn't make mistakes like this. Mm-hmm. He secured this lamp himself. Now, I know it was right.
Well, then, have you got any idea how it might have fallen?
None at all. Matter of fact, I don't think it did.
Sir?
I don't think it did fall. I think it was dropped.
3:15 p.m. Frank and I went back to stage 2. We talked to Bob Murphy, the best boy, and got the same story from him. He said that he'd secured the lamp in position himself and that as far as he was concerned, it could not have fallen. He agreed with Dick Patterson that the lamp must have been removed from its place and either dropped or was thrown at Wilson. At this point, there was the possibility that the death was not an accident. We asked the unit manager to assign one of the studio police to guard the scene of the accident, and then we called the crime lab. Dean Bergman lifted several clean prints from the broken lens of the lamp. Bob Murphy's fingerprints were taken, and they matched those found on the lamp. There were no other prints on the glass. The men from the crime lab found a small piece of blue cloth on the mounting of the lamp. Lee Jones put it in an envelope and gave it to me. At 4:20 p.m., we talked to Gerald Adams in one of the portable dressing rooms.
I just can't believe it. There were a lot of people in town that didn't like Henry, but I don't think there was anyone that'd kill him.
Was there anyone in the company that he had any disagreements with, would you know?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, anyone he had quarrels with, arguments, would you know?
Well, I guess Sam would be the most likely. They argued all the time.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam Phillips. He's the first assistant director. Real talented guy. Been at it a long time. He and Henry worked together for a long time. They're always arguing. I guess if you didn't know them, you might think they were serious, but here in the company, we all knew. We understood.
Understood what?
Well, Sam's been in Hollywood almost since it was. He began as a prop man, worked his way up to be a cutter. Then I guess about 15 years ago, he went into directing.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get a picture of his own pretty soon. He'll do well, too. Real talent.
Well, about these arguments, Mr. Adams, between Wilson and Phillips.
Well, to understand him, you'd have to know Henry. He was one of the first directors in pictures. Came out here from New York even before Sam did. Really old school. He drove special cars, most of them pure white. Had all his clothes designed and made. He wore a cape while he was on the set, you know. Referred to himself as Wilson. You know, Wilson thinks this, Wilson thinks that. If you didn't know him, you'd take him seriously. Once you did that, you were in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Were you ever present when one of these arguments took place?
Yeah, matter of fact, they had one yesterday.
That's so?
Yeah, over in the commissary. I thought for a minute it was going to be pretty serious, and then I realized it was all a gag. Everyone else did, too.
Well, what was it about?
Well, like I told you, the picture's 12 days over now. A lot of tension on the stage. Everyone's pretty edgy.
Yeah.
Well, Sam's a great practical joker, you know, always trying to cook up something.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, the jokes do the job. They give everybody a laugh. They all feel a little better. Well, day before yesterday, Sam got one of the set dressers and took a cement deer. You know, the kind people used to have on their front lawns?
Yeah, I think I know the kind you mean.
Well, the two of them carted this deer down the parking lot and put it in the back seat of Henry's car. He planted it so the deer was looking right at Henry when he got in the driver's seat. The thing weighed about 250 pounds. Once they got it in, Henry couldn't get it out. He tried that night. He couldn't make it.
He didn't think it was very funny, did he?
No, he had to leave it in the car all night. Drove home with it. Next morning, when he checked in the lot, he tried to get it out again. While he was trying, the horns on the thing tore up the upholstery in his car, really ripped it up to pieces.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Well, finally, Henry got a hammer and broke the thing up, smashed it in little pieces and threw them all out of the car, left them right in front of the scene dock.
Yeah. Was that when he and Phillips had the argument?
No. Yesterday morning when Wilson got on the set, he wasn't saying anything to anybody. All the crew knew about the deer, and they were all waiting for him to say something about it, but he didn't. He just drove the crew through the morning setups. The argument took place at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Henry waited until the whole crew was having lunch, and then he stormed into the cafe. He walked over to Sam, really read him off, called him a child. He said that if he'd spend a little more time doing his work and less time playing around, the picture wouldn't be so far over scheduled. Really made him look like a fool. The argument went on for about 15 minutes.
Well, what was Sam doing all this time?
Well, he just sat there, and then finally he got up and grabbed Henry, kind of shook him, said he'd never been talked to like that before, and it wasn't going to happen again. Said he'd kill Henry next time he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Henry looked pretty scared. Sam's a big man, you know. I think if he made up his mind to do it, he could have broken Henry in two.
Mm-hmm.
Sam looked at Henry for a minute, and then he laughed. Then Henry started to laugh, too, and then the whole place, I guess it's like laughing in a horror picture, anything to break the tension. It looked real tight. Even I wasn't sure it was a joke, you know.
You said that Sam lifted this deer into the car by himself?
Well, I don't know if he did it by himself, but I know he could lift it without help.
How much did you say that deer weighed?
Oh, about 250 pounds. Why?
Well, I was just thinking. That's about what that big lamp weighed, isn't it? 3:45 p.m. Frank called the office and had R&I run the names Sam Phillips and Henry Wilson. Sam Phillips had been arrested once for disturbing the peace. He'd gotten drunk in a nightclub out on Sunset Boulevard and gotten into a fight. The report said that it had taken both of the arresting officers to subdue him and take him into custody. There was no record on Henry Wilson. We continued to talk to the crew. Each one of them told us about the arguments between Phillips and Wilson, but most of the people we talked to didn't share Adams' idea that the arguments were just a joke. The script girl told us that on at least 3 occasions, members of the crew had had to keep the men apart, and that Sam Phillips had said he'd kill Wilson. We asked each of them if they'd seen anyone enter or leave the stage at approximately the time of the accident. None of them had. They explained that Wilson had been trying to pick up time, and that as soon as they'd finished one shot, he was yelling at them to get ready for the next one. 4:22 p.m. We talked to Sam Phillips.
Sure, we had some beefs. None of them were serious, though.
Well, how about this fight you had in the commissary yesterday?
You mean the thing about the deer?
Yeah?
Well, that didn't mean anything. Oh, I admit I was pretty sore for a minute, but right away I knew Henry wasn't serious. Even if he was, I guess I can understand it. Must have made him pretty sore to see his car ripped up.
Did you lift that deer into Wilson's car by yourself?
Yeah, I had one of the set dressers with me. He kind of steered the thing in. Sure looked kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. You sure you weren't over on stage 1 today?
Positive.
You got any idea of how that light got loose and fell?
No, I've been in the business a long time. That's the first time I've ever known a lamp to fall. They've been tipped over when on a floor stand, and I've seen them broken when the set is moved. I've never seen one drop like that.
Do you have any idea how this could have happened then?
Not the slightest.
You're a first assistant, is that right?
Yeah.
How long you been in this job?
Oh, I guess about 15 years now. I was a cutter for a while. Took a big cut in salary to go into directing. Figured it'd be a way to get a picture of my own. A lot of directors come from the cutting department.
That's so?
Yeah, they do. I didn't care much for it, though. I like to be on the set. See things happen. I like the activity.
Mm-hmm. Did Wilson know that you wanted to be a director?
Yeah, he said that if I stayed with him, he'd try to get the producers to give me a picture. Matter of fact, I kind of thought I might get this one.
Is that right?
Yeah. When I was in the pre-planning stages, they hadn't assigned a man to it yet, and Jerry and I both wanted it.
Jerry? You mean Adams?
Yeah, he wants to be a director, too. It's funny, I guess everyone wants to be a director. Jerry's been trying for a long time. I don't think he'll ever make it, though.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's too valuable as a unit manager.
Yeah. Was Adams very upset when he didn't get this picture?
No, I was pretty sore. I told Jerry about it. He just sat back and said that's the way things are and it doesn't pay to fight the front office.
Mm-hmm. Did you say anything to Wilson about how you felt?
Yeah, I told him. Said I thought it was real unfair. Said I thought he could have done something about it.
Well, what did he say?
He told me to be patient. My time would come.
Do you know if there was anybody on the lot who might have wanted to kill Wilson?
No. Oh, there might have been some people who didn't like him very much, but you run into that in almost every picture. You know, little jealousies.
That right?
Yeah. You really think he was killed, huh?
Well, it could have been, yeah.
Sure hard to believe. We've been making pictures about this for a long time. You know, murders. But now that it's right here, really on the set, it makes you feel that you can just check ahead in the script and find out who the killer is. Read about the ending. Kind of seems just like another picture.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, come in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had somebody here with you, officer.
That's all right, Mr. Patterson. What is it?
I wonder if I could talk to you?
Sure.
Well, it's kind of private.
Well, if you're through with me, I'll get back to work.
No, you just wait. I'll be right back. Here, we can step out of here.
Okay.
Now, what is it, Mr. Patterson?
Well, I feel like a real idiot. I should have remembered it when you talked to me before.
What's that, sir?
Well, I remember just before the company broke for lunch, Sam gave me a note. Said I should give it to Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Did you see what it was?
No, it was folded up. Had Wilson's name on it. I didn't pay much attention to it.
What, did you give it to him?
Yeah, he read it, and then he said he had to leave the set for a few minutes. Said he'd be right back.
He left the stage then?
Yeah.
Where was Sam at this time?
Well, I don't know. You see, he gave me the note just outside the door to the stage. I was bringing in some more lights, and right after he handed it to me, he left.
Uh-huh.
Headed for stage 1.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Chesterfield was first to name its ingredients. Ingredients that give you the best possible smoke. Now, Chesterfield is first to give you scientific facts in support of smoking.
Nose, throat, and accessory organs not adversely affected by smoking Chesterfields. First such report published about any cigarette.
A responsible consulting organization reports a study by a competent medical specialist and staff on the effects of smoking Chesterfields. For 6 months, a group of men and women smoked only Chesterfield. 10 to 40 a day, their normal amount. 45% of the group would smoke Chesterfields from 1 to 30 years, for an average of 10 years each. At the beginning and end of the 6 months, each smoker was given a thorough examination, including x-rays, and covering the sinuses, nose, ears, and throat. After these examinations, the medical specialist stated,
"It is my opinion that the ears, nose, throat, and accessory organs of all participating subjects examined by me were not adversely affected in the 6 months period by smoking the cigarettes provided."
Remember this report, and buy Chesterfields either way you like them, regular or king size. Premium quality Chesterfields, and much milder.
We talked to Gerald Adams and had 2 of the studio police start a search for the note. Frank called Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and asked if the note had been found on the body of Henry Wilson. The doctor told us that he didn't know and that the dead man's personal effects had been turned over to the coroner. We called them and they told us that there was nothing of that description found. While the search for the missing note went on, we continued to talk to Sam Phillips.
The whole idea is crazy. I told you I wasn't near stage 1 at all this morning.
Well, how about the note?
I don't remember any note.
Well, the gaffer says you gave it to him. Told him to give it to Wilson.
He's crazy. If I had a note for Wilson, I'd have given it to him myself. I'm with him all day. I've got no reason to have someone else deliver messages for me.
Well, then you deny giving him the note, is that right?
Well, certainly.
All right, mister, we'll let you know just how you stand. We got a witness who says you were seen going to stage 1. A couple of minutes later, a man is killed on the same stage. You admit that you've had arguments with Wilson. Seems like you might have had a motive for killing him.
I told you I didn't go near the place. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah?
I know what's happened.
What's that?
Well, when Dick told you he saw me heading for stage 1, he probably saw me heading for the office. I have to pass near the stage to get there. Matter of fact, I even cut through it once in a while.
Did you happen to cut through it today?
No, at least I don't think so.
That's pretty important that you remember.
Well, I'm trying. Let's see. I know what you guys think. I don't know how to show you that you're wrong.
Well, can you come up with an explanation for the note?
Well, I'm trying to tell you I don't know. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
What?
I did give Dick a note.
Yeah.
Told him to give it to Henry.
What was in it?
Well, I don't know. I didn't even read it.
Well, then you didn't write it?
No, I found it in my desk when I was up in the office this morning. I figured that someone had put it there thinking I'd see Henry and give it to him.
What time did you find it?
Let's see, I guess it was about 9 or so. Guess I put it in my pocket and then forgot all about it. And just before I went up to the office to tell him that we were breaking for lunch, I remembered it. I gave it to Dick and told him to hand it to Henry. That's what the note's all about. Right after that, I went upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Do you always tell the office that you're broken for lunch?
Yeah, most of the time I phone, but today I went up myself. I've been kind of expecting a letter from my family back east, and I thought it might be in, so I wanted to check the morning mail.
Got any idea who might have put the note on your desk?
No, I just found it, tucked away in the corner of the blotter. I really didn't look at it. I was in a hurry. Wanted to finish lunch so I could get back on the set. We had a lot of work to do this afternoon.
Did you see Wilson after you left the stage?
No, I looked for him at the commissary, but he didn't show up. And the greenery man came in and said that he had the accident.
Uh-huh. You recognize the handwriting on that note?
No, all I saw was the name, that it was for Henry. Come to think of it, though, I do kind of remember that it was familiar handwriting, thinking I'd seen it someplace before.
Do you remember where?
No, I wish I could. Have you found it yet?
No. Wilson must have dropped it someplace here, though. It wasn't on his body. I wonder if you'd take a look at this.
What's that?
Well, the crime lab crew found this on the stage, caught on the lamp that killed Wilson.
Looks like the material they make suits out of.
Yeah, from inside the cuff. See? See the little zigzag mark where it's been cut?
Mm-hmm.
You ever see this type of material before, Sam?
Let me see. Looks like it came from a blue suit, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good material. Sure not color. Yeah, I think I've seen a suit like this. I think I saw it this morning.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, sure. Jerry Adams was wearing it.
.30 p.m. We called Gerald Adams into the dressing room.
Were you on stage 1 at all before the body was found?
No, sir. Why do you think I had something to do with this?
Well, we're just trying to get the facts here.
Well, I want to help, but it seems to me that you'd spend your time a little better if you talked to Sam, the note and all. Still deny giving it to Henry?
No, he says that he gave it to him.
Well, then there you are. I guess that argument was a lot more serious than we thought, huh?
That's a nice-looking suit you got on, Mr. Adams. New?
Yeah, this is the first day I've worn it. Present from my wife. Pretty blue. I don't usually care for blue, like brown, gray mostly. Wife's been trying to get me to wear blue, so she got this suit for me.
Yeah, looks like it's made pretty well there.
Yeah, it is. She had my tailors put it together. I didn't even go down for a fitting. Needs a few things done to it, like the shoulders pulled in a little. I don't much care for padding in the shoulders,
Mm-hmm. You mind if I look at the cuffs? I've always had trouble with the cuffs on my suits. You can see here how they've worn. Must be in the way they're made.
No, I don't think so. That looks like it came from your shoes rubbing against it.
You mind if I look?
No, here.
Yeah, it sure is beautiful material.
Yeah. She sure got good taste. Of course it should be. She paid $180 for it.
Wow. You got a little tear here on the cuff. Inside. Have you noticed that?
No. Let's see.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. How about that? I got to get that fixed. A little piece torn right out.
Uh-huh.
What did you do when you found Wilson's body?
No, what do you mean?
Well, what were your movements?
Well, it'll be kind of hard to explain. If you want to walk over there, I can show you.
All right. Let's go.
Company's broken. I told him wait up in the office. Figured you might want to talk to him some more.
Fine.
Here, I'll get the door. Sure a beautiful night, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Best time of the day in the valley. After the sun starts to go down, everybody's always kidding about the cool breeze that comes up, Really does out here. I know the wife and I practically live out of doors during the summer months.
Is that right?
Yeah, we both love the valley. Right, here we are. Just the work lights on. You want me to get the others?
No, there's enough light.
Okay.
Now, if you'd show us just what happened when you found the body.
Well, I came in that door, the big one there. It was open.
Was there anybody on the stage then?
No, not right away. The greenery man came in right after me, and then Jack the guard from the other stage.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, the body was lying about here. And the lamp was there. You saw that when you were here.
Yes, sir, we did. Did you go near the lamp, touch it in any way?
No, I didn't. The only concern was Henry. That's all I thought about. I knelt down to feel Henry's pulse, and then I told Jack to go and phone the ambulance.
Yeah?
And then I had the doors closed. I waited until a lot of policemen got here, and then I went back to the other stage.
Mm-hmm. Our crime lab found a piece of cloth caught on that lamp. Matches the tear in the cuff of your suit.
Can't understand how it could have gotten there.
What if we could look through your pockets?
Why? What's that going to prove?
We just want to take a look. It won't hurt anything.
Well, maybe it won't, but I don't see why you're asking me all these questions. Seems to me that Sam's your killer. Why don't you talk to him? Make him tell you why he did it.
All right, come on. Let's see what you got in your pockets. Take everything out, put it on the table.
All right. There's my wallet.
Well, you better take the money out of it.
Okay.
Now, let me see the wallet.
All right, here.
Just a second, Mr. Adams. What'd you drop over there? Right there.
Hmm?
Looks like the note we've been looking for, Joe.
What's it say?
Wilson, I have to see you. Something's come up. Meet me on 1 when you break for lunch. It's private. Signed, Jerry.
How about this, Adams?
Oh, I don't know anything about it.
Well, maybe we better talk downtown.
Place with you.
Watch him, Joe.
He's going up that ladder.
All right, give it up, Adams. There's no place to go up there.
Stay away from me.
Come on, Adams, give it up.
It's not coming down.
Well, he can't stay up there long.
Why don't you shoot me? I'm not going to do what you say. Go ahead and shoot me.
What for? You're not going any place. How about it, Adams? Why'd you do it?
He had it coming. Always like stepping on people. This picture was mine. They told me it was. And he took it away from me just because he wanted to be a big man. This was my picture. He took it.
All right, come on down.
I'm going to stay up here.
You suit yourself. We got lots of time, Adams.
Can't you just go away and leave me alone?
You know better than that. You killed a man. Now, come on. You either come down or we'll come up.
What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, give him a minute. He wants to be a director.
Yeah.
Let him figure out the ending.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On February 17th, trial was held in Department 89, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Friends, in a sense, every smoker is his own judge and jury when it comes to selecting a cigarette. Now, you've heard the facts in our case for Chesterfield, and I'd like to sum them up for you. Chesterfield, the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size. Chesterfield, the first and only cigarette to name all its ingredients. And now, Chesterfield gives you scientific facts in support of smoking. You heard the report read earlier. Nose, throat, and accessory organs not adversely affected by smoking Chesterfields. First such report ever published about any cigarette. Consider these facts carefully. I'm sure you'll want to change to Chesterfields. Regular or king size, Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. And much milder.
Gerald S. Adams was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. He was sentenced to life imprisonment in the state penitentiary, San Quentin, California. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Whit Connor, Jack Crucian. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size, Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. Much milder Chesterfield.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
This is NBC, the nation's headquarters for election news.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. You get a call that the body of a dead woman has been found in a closet. There are no leads to her identification. The identity of the killer is unknown. Your job? Investigate. Here's what a leading tobacco publication and the nation's press have had to say about king-size Chesterfields.
Tobacco leaf. More calls for Chesterfield king-size cigarettes than for most brands being marketed.
And the Cleveland Press reported, dealers everywhere report the big pack sale phenomenal. Last week in Cleveland, some areas reported the long-size Chesterfield outsold all other brands.
The reason for king-size Chesterfield's amazing success is this. All king-size cigarettes give you quantity, but only Chesterfield king-size gives you quantity plus quality, premium quality.
That means Chesterfield king-size contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette. The same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield. Enough more of this tobacco to give you more than a 1/5 longer smoke.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em. Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. Much milder.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, April 17th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 11:36 a.m. when we got to the Greenleaf Apartment Hotel. Apartment 406.
Yes?
Police officers, ma'am.
Oh, yes, come in.
Thank you. This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How'd you do?
How do you do, man?
I'm Lorraine Holden. I'm the one who called you. Terrible thing, just terrible.
Yes, Miss Holden. If you just tell us what happened, if you could.
Well, Georgia, she's a maid. Well, Georgia was cleaning up in here. She finished the apartment, and then she thought she'd check the coat closet right here.
Mm-hmm.
She opened the door, and there she was on the floor.
Ma'am?
Dead woman. You can see for yourself. She's right there on the floor. Just terrible.
Where's this Georgia now, Mrs. Holden?
She's downstairs in my place. She's pretty broken up. Must have been a terrible shock to her. She let out a scream that must have had half the neighborhood on edge. I live down on the second floor in the rear. I thought at first that something had happened to Georgia. Oh, that girl's got a powerful set of lungs.
Yes, ma'am. Who rented this apartment from you?
I knew you'd ask that. I've got the receipt book right here on my apron. Just a minute.
Uh-huh.
I put a pencil on the page. Let's see. Yes, it is. Raymond Bartley. That's what he said. Bartley.
You know where this Bartley is now?
No, I don't. And that's another weird one. You know what I mean.
Ma'am.
Well, look in the closets. Look around the places. None of his clothes. Nothing that even tell you he was still here. He's got another week to go on his rent.
How's that, ma'am?
Well, moved in a week ago. You can see here on the receipt, Wednesday, April 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Paid me 2 weeks in advance. And you look around this place, and it don't look like he's going to be around here anymore.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea where he might be?
Oh, not the slightest.
Did he give you any indication that he was planning to move out?
Not the slightest, no, sir. I don't even have an inkling.
I'll call the coroner, Joe.
Okay. Better get in touch with the crime lab, too. Have them come out.
Okay. You mind if I use the phone, Mrs. Holden?
Well, not at all. It's right there back in the hall. A little shelf on the wall.
Thank you, ma'am.
You think Mr. Bartley did it? Do you think he killed the woman?
Well, we don't know, ma'am. Did Mr. Bartley rent this room by himself?
What? I don't understand.
Well, did he register as Mr. and Mrs.?
Oh, no, sir. Just plain Raymond Bartley.
Do you have any idea who the woman might be?
Oh, not the slightest. I never saw her before Georgia screamed and I ran in here.
Did you touch anything at all in the room here?
No. Oh, I know how policemen work. I've heard all about that. Don't touch anything department. No, sir, I didn't touch anything.
Uh-huh.
They're on the way, Joe.
All right, fine. Miss Halden, have you ever seen the woman before?
No, sir, I haven't. Never saw her before. Just took a quick glance. Terrible, just terrible what they did.
Mm-hmm. Wonder if you could give us a description of Mr. Bartley.
Well, that'd be kind of hard. Like I said, I don't pay a lot of attention to the people who live here. I just collect the rents and let it go at that. Once in a while, when George is sick, I come in and clean up. Those times I talk to him a little bit, but I'm not the nosy type. You know what I mean.
Could you tell us about how tall Bartley is?
Well, I have to think about that, too. I guess he was about as tall as you, maybe a little one way or the other.
How much would you say he weighed?
Well, he was kind of heavy-set little man. I guess he weighs about as much as my husband. That'd be 200 or so.
How about his coloring? Would you know?
Oh, there it goes again. I tell you, officers, I can't tell you too good. Mr. Bartley was kind of a crowd melter.
I beg your pardon?
A crowd melter. You put him in a crowd and he just melts away. You never pay any attention to him. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Near as I can remember, he had kind of brown hair and blue eyes, I guess.
Was there anything peculiar about him? Did he have any scars, any marks, anything at all about him that'd make you remember him, make him a little easier to...
No, not a thing.
How about the way he talked? Could you tell where he was from?
No, he was just kind of an ordinary man, nothing special.
When was the last time you saw Mr. Bartley?
Well, let me see now. I think it was, yes, Monday night. He was coming in. I was just coming back from the grocery. It was about, 6:15. I said hello, and then he said the same hello, and then he went on upstairs, and I went to my apartment. That was the last time.
Did Mr. Bartley have any close friends in the building, you know?
No, not that I can think of.
Well, did he ever say where he worked or what he did for a living?
No, not that I remember.
Well, how about references? Did he have any?
No, I didn't ask for any.
You know if he drove a car?
It seems so stupid. Seems like I don't know the answers to any of your questions. I don't know about if he drove a car or not. We don't have any garages in the building. He might have, and I wouldn't know it. I just didn't pay any attention. You know what I mean.
Well, did he get any mail while he was here? Would you know that?
No, sir, nothing.
We'd like to talk to Georgia if we could.
Sure, I'll ask her to come up here. Poor thing's so upset. It's terrible. It's the first time anything like this has happened to me. First time anything like this has happened in the place. I don't understand it. I never bothered the tenants, never caused them any trouble. I don't even know this Bartley. Why do you have to do a thing like this to me? Why me?
Well, I don't know, ma'am. Why her? The crime lab crew got there and went over the apartment. Photographs were taken of the room and of the position of the body. In going over the room, the crime lab came up with a probable murder weapon, a cast-iron poker standing in the fireplace rack. Brown hair, similar to the victim's, was found clinging to the metal. Dean Bergman lifted several partial and some full fingerprints from around the apartment and from the poker itself. He compared them with fingerprints of the maid and eliminated her as a suspect. He rolled the prints of the dead woman. Hers were eliminated from those found in the apartment. We talked to the maid and got the same story that we'd been given by Mrs. Halden. She was unable to add any information to what we already had. We talked to the neighbors in the building. None of them had had any dealings with the missing Ray Bartley. The woman in the apartment next to his told us that on the previous night at about 10:45, she had heard a woman's voice and a loud argument coming from the murder apartment, but she said she hadn't paid any attention to it. 2:42 p.m. Frank and I checked back into the office.
I'll call Bergman and see if he was able to identify the woman or make the other prints.
Yeah, right. I hope he's done some good.
Yeah. Dean Bergman, please. Hi, Dean. Frank Smith. Yeah, you been able to make those prints yet? Well, how about the ones in the poker? Yeah. Well, that's the way it goes, huh? Uh-huh. Right. Nothing on either the woman's or the ones he lifted from the poker.
Well, that helps, doesn't it?
He's sending them both on to Washington, see if they have anything.
Yeah.
Anything on him in R&I?
Well, I called down there. They're checking him now. I can't understand it.
What's that?
Well, how you can rent an apartment to somebody and not know what he looks like?
Well, like you said, the manager's probably minds her own business.
Yeah, well, I get it. Homicide Friday. Oh, yeah, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
How about laundry marks? Yeah, how about the poker? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that figures, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, Lee, thanks a lot.
Anything?
Well, he's pretty sure the poker was the murder weapon.
Anything to identify the woman?
No, not a thing. Whoever did this sure knew what he was doing. Removed everything that could possibly tell us who she was.
That puts us in a good position.
Yeah, an unidentified body and an unknown killer. The report came back from R&I. There was nothing in the records on a Ray Bartley of that description. 3 other teams of men were assigned to assist in the investigation. We talked with everybody in the neighborhood around the apartment building. None of the storekeepers had noticed the missing man. None of them could give us any further information. An APB was gotten out carrying the name and description that we'd obtained. An APB was also gotten out on the dead woman. We checked with missing persons detail for a possible missing report on the victim. They said they'd let us know. The newspapers gave us their help, and in the following editions they carried pictures of the woman and requested that anyone knowing her identity should contact the police department immediately. 2 days passed. During this time, several people came in and said that they were sure that they knew the dead woman, but they were unable to identify her. Other leads were checked out, but led us nowhere. The manager and the maid came in and went through the mug books. No results. Monday, April 21st, 9:27 a.m.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, hi, John.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Johnny.
You guys getting anywhere in this closet murder?
No, not a thing.
Well, I got a hunch. Maybe it won't go anywhere, but I thought you guys might want to check it out.
What's that?
We got a missing report from San Francisco a couple of weeks ago. Man up there said that his wife had come down here to see her sister. Said she never showed up.
Yeah?
We went out and talked to the sister. At the time, she wasn't too cooperative. You know, like she knew where her sister was all the time. I checked this description on the APB. It seems to me to match the description we got from both the husband and the sister.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just a hunch, but I thought you might talk to this woman. Might be able to come up with something.
What's her name?
Let's see. Allard, Myra Allard. Lives out in Hollywood Boulevard. You talk to her. See if you don't come up with the same thing we did.
Yeah, what's that?
She doesn't care if her sister's dead or alive.
Frank and I drove out to see Mrs. Myra Allard. She told us that her sister had written and said that she'd be down for a visit. On the day that she was supposed to arrive, the sister had phoned and told Mrs. Allard that she wouldn't be out that day, but that she'd met some friends on the train and that they were all going out on a sightseeing tour of the city. In talking to her, we got the same impression that she'd given John St. John of missing persons detail. We asked her if she'd go with us to see if the dead woman might be her sister. At first, she appeared reluctant, but when we gave her a full description of the body, she agreed to accompany us. She looked at the dead woman and burst into tears. Half an hour later, after she recovered from the shock, we talked to her in the interrogation room at the city hall.
It's Alice. There's no doubt about it. It's just terrible. My own sister dead.
Well, if you try to take it easy. Would you like another glass of water, Miss Allard?
No, thank you. It's not just finding her dead. I guess I always knew that Alice would end up like this. I never wanted it this way, but I always knew it in my heart.
How's that, man?
Well, to understand that, you'd have to know Alice. She was a beautiful girl, a wonderful person.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said that you heard from Alice when she got here in L.A., is that right?
That's right. She called right after she got off the train.
Mm-hmm. What'd she say to you then?
Well, as I told you, she said that she'd met some friends on the train and they were going out to see the town.
Did she say who these friends were?
No, just said that they were going to pick up Ray and then go out in the town.
Ray?
Yes, Ray Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to call him when Alice didn't show up, but there wasn't any answer at his apartment.
Where does he live, ma'am?
Out in Hollywood. I think it's on Selma someplace. I have the address.
Mm-hmm. Who is this Fletcher?
Well, that's something I'm not very proud of.
Well, why is that, ma'am?
Well, he's a friend of my husband. Well, not really a friend in the real sense of the word. Sort of an acquaintance.
Mm-hmm. Well, why do you say that you're not very proud of it, ma'am? I don't understand.
Well, I sort of feel that it's all my fault.
Well, I still don't think I understand, ma'am.
The divorce.
Oh,
Alice and Tom were on the verge of separating.
Mm-hmm. Tom
said that he'd come to just about the end of the line. Alice told me that they used to have terrible fights. Anyway, she was down here one time. Let me see, I think it was about 3 months ago. She was terribly depressed. Said that she and Tom had been fighting for several weeks. A couple of times he'd hit her. Can't understand it, I really can't. I told Alice I didn't believe it.
Yes, ma'am.
She showed me the bruises all across her back and shoulders. She said that one night they were going over the bills and Tom just seemed to go crazy. Started to rant and rave about how much they were in debt. Of course I knew why. I told Alice so. I said that it was her fault for driving him. Always asking for something new, something else.
Uh-huh.
She said that she told Tom that if he couldn't afford to keep it the way she wanted to live, that then she'd just have to find somebody who could. That's when he hit her. She left that night to come down here. They were terrible. I don't agree with her, but I don't think any man has the right to hit a woman.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, she moped around the house for a couple of days. Said about how she was never going back to him. I felt kind of sorry for her. Even though I don't agree with her. After all, she was my sister.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Well, that night my husband came home, and he brought this Ray Fletcher with him. Met him down at the office.
What'd you say, madam?
Down at the office. Ray works for the same company. He's a steward on the ship that travels up the coast from here to Washington. Anyway, my husband brought him home for dinner. Ray said that we should all go out to eat, so we did. We had dinner and a few drinks, and then Ray brought us home, and he and Alice went on. Alice didn't get in until almost 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, I see.
That night, Ray was here again. He and Alice went out that night, and for the next 4 nights in a row, every night out until all hours. I finally had a talk with her about it. Told her I didn't think Tom would like it, and that I wouldn't have her doing things like that while she was under my roof. That's when she told me that she was going to divorce Tom, that she and Ray were going to get married.
Uh-huh.
I told her I thought she was crazy. She didn't know what she was doing, but there wasn't any talking to her. She saw Ray every day. Then she went back up north to get things straightened out.
I see. Well, did she follow through with her divorce plans?
Well, as far as I know, she did. She wrote me and said that she talked to Tom about it and that they'd reached an agreement, that he'd let her have her freedom.
Well, how did he seem to take all this?
Well, he called me one night and asked if I knew why Alice was leaving him. He didn't know about Ray. I told him all about it before. I thought that maybe Alice hadn't said anything about it.
What was his reaction to it?
I almost went crazy on the phone. Tom's a real jealous man. If he could have gotten through the phone wires, I think he'd have taken my head off. He screamed that I'd influenced his wife, that it was all my fault.
Well, why didn't you tell the officers from Missing Persons all of this when they were out there, ma'am?
I didn't want my husband to know about it. Then, too, I thought that it might be better if Tom didn't know where Alice was. After what he said, I thought it would be better if he never saw her again.
What's that, ma'am?
That night, we had the argument on the phone. He said that she'd never leave him.
Mm-hmm.
That he'd see her dead first.
The description of Ray Fletcher Mrs. Allard had given us tallied closely with that of Raymond Bartley. She also gave us his address and phone number. It was an apartment house in the southwest section of the city. Frank and I drove over, but found that he'd moved and left no forwarding address. We checked the apartment, but it had since been cleaned and occupied. Again, we ran into the same problem. No one could give us any information as to his whereabouts. We went back to the city hall and ran the name Ray Fletcher through R&I. There was no record on anyone answering his description. We contacted the shipping line where he was employed, and they told us that they'd pull his employment record out of the files and call us back. We contacted the San Francisco Police Department, gave them the full details of the case, and had them check on the movements of the victim's husband, Tom Hudson, as a possible suspect. 4:52 p.m. Frank and I checked back into the city hall.
Hudson sure got a motive.
Yeah, well, we'll know more when we hear from the San Francisco Department, huh?
Here we go. I'll check the book.
Right. Anything?
Yeah, there's a message from the shipping company Fletcher works for. Wants us to give him a call.
Okay, what's the number? You got it there?
Yeah, Hollywood 26709.
Okay, I'll call it. Hollywood 26709. 09?
Yeah, ask for Mr. August.
August. Mr. August, please. Oh, my name's Friday, Los Angeles Police Department. Oh, Police Department, yes, ma'am. Yes, he asked me to call. Mr. August, this is Sergeant Friday. You asked me to call you? Yes, sir, that's right. Raymond Fletcher. Mm-hmm. When was it? Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much, sir. If you think of anything else, we'd appreciate a call. Yes, sir, Michigan 5211. Right. Homicide, huh? Right. Thank you, sir. Bye. Well, we're doing real well.
What do you mean?
Fletcher sailed for Canada this morning.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
These are the reasons thousands are changing to Chesterfield, and why you should change to Chesterfield.
Only Chesterfield gives you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Only Chesterfield names all its ingredients.
And only Chesterfield gives you scientific facts in support of smoking.
First such report ever published about any cigarette. A responsible consulting organization reports a study by a competent medical specialist and staff on the effects of smoking Chesterfields. For 6 months, a group of men and women smoked only Chesterfield, 10 to 40 a day, their normal amount. 45% of the group have smoked Chesterfields from 1 to 30 years, for an average of 10 years each. At the beginning and end of the 6 months, each smoker was given a thorough examination, including x-rays, and covering the sinuses, nose, ears, and throat. After the examinations, the medical specialist stated,
"It is my opinion that the ears, nose, throat, and accessory organs of all participating subjects examined by me were not adversely affected in the 6 months period by smoking the cigarettes provided."
Of course, these cigarettes were Chesterfields. Remember this report and buy Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size. Premium quality Chesterfield, and much milder.
We contacted the San Pedro office of the shipping company and made sure that Fletcher was on board the ship when it had sailed. The management of the shipping line told us that it would take about 24 hours before the tanker would make its first stop at San Francisco. We got in touch with the San Francisco Police Department and talked to Inspector Charles Sutton. He told us that they'd place a stakeout where the ship was due to dock and that they would await our arrival. At the same time, Sutton told us that they had conducted an investigation of the dead woman's husband, Tom Hudson, and that as far as they could find out, he didn't have the opportunity to kill his wife. They said that the records at the steel mill where he worked showed that he'd been on the job every day for the past month and a half. Questioning of his neighbors showed that he'd spent his time off, working around the house, and was seen each evening. Inspector Sutton stated that when Tom Hudson was told of his wife's death, he broke down and said that although there had been some talk of divorce, none of it had really been serious, and that this trip that his wife had taken to Los Angeles was to straighten things out with Fletcher. Hudson flew down to Los Angeles and gave a positive identification of the body. We got in touch with the captain of the ship that Fletcher was on and filled him in on what had happened. He told us that he'd placed the man under arrest and hold him in the ship's brig for us when they docked at San Francisco. Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m., Frank and I checked out and flew up to San Francisco. We met with Inspector Sutton and Inspector Jules Zimmerman. They told us that the ship was expected to dock the following morning at 10:36 a.m. We were waiting when the gangplank was lowered.
You're the officers? Yes, sir. I'm Inspector Sutton, San Francisco Police Department. Here are my credentials. These are Detectives Joe Friday and Frank Smith. They're from Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, you're the ones I talked to. I'm Captain Jackson.
How you doing, Captain?
Down the brig. He's been there since I got your message.
I wonder if we could see him.
Yeah, sure. We can go down this way.
All right, fine.
You sure Fletcher's the man you want?
Well, we're not sure, sir. Looks that way.
Hard to believe.
Why is that, sir?
Well, Fletcher's been with us for several years. Good man, hard worker. I know he's been studying for his papers. Wanted to be an engineer.
Oh.
I used to go by his room late at night on my way to the bridge. He'd be there, reading and working on the papers. Sure is hard to believe. Here, we go through here.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Of course, I knew something had to be wrong.
Sir?
Well, once in a while, he used to get together with Fletcher on shore. We'd talk about what he was studying. I'd try to help him with his seamanship. This trip I called him, I'd met an engineer that I thought Fletcher would like to talk to. I'd known the guy for years, just back from the Orient. Anyway, I called Fletcher. They told me he'd moved out, hadn't left any forwarding address.
Uh-huh.
I didn't hear from him at all. Then he called me, wanted to know if he could stay at my place for a few days. Said he'd had some trouble at the new place he was living. Landlady giving him a bad time.
Uh-huh. Did he say where he'd been staying?
Yeah, the, Broadleaf, something like that.
Could it be the Greenleaf, sir?
Yeah, that's it, Greenleaf. Said the landlady was a real prune, called her a miserable woman. Old Fletcher looked as if he'd been tying one on for about a week when he checked into my place. His clothes were a mess. Come on, it's down here.
Okay, fine.
When I told Fletcher about this, he was real arrogant. Said he didn't want to talk to anyone. Never seen him run like this before. All right, Fletcher. Police officers are here. Come on out. Come on, Fletcher. Let's go.
No, I'll go in.
How about it, Joe?
Room's empty. A blockade of the dock area was set up immediately in the event Fletcher had escaped from the ship. All officers in the area began a search. A search of the ship was started. A check of Fletcher's cabin turned up several letters from Alice Hudson. In the letters, she told Fletcher that she was going back to her husband. We talked to the members of the crew who had been in the vicinity of the brig. From one of them, we found that Fletcher had been in custody as the ship entered the harbor. On the floor of the brig, we found a small strip of metal that Fletcher had used to pick the lock of the door. The search of the ship went on. 11:47 a.m. One of the seamen found Fletcher's coat on the forward part of the deck. It had been wedged in behind a lifeboat shot. The search of the dock netted us nothing. All we could assume was that Fletcher had escaped from the brig, jumped overboard, and then tried to swim to shore. Inspector Sutton got in touch with Captain Cornelius Murphy, skipper of police boat D.A. White. Captain Murphy and his crew began a search of the bay from the dock area to Land's End. All police officers in the Bay Area were notified of the escape. Captain Jackson furnished us with a good snapshot of Fletcher. 7 hours passed. The search continued. Apparently, Fletcher had made good his escape. Wednesday morning, April 23rd, we got a report from an officer in the search party that the body of a man answering Fletcher's description had been found out near Seal Rocks near the Golden Gate. Sutton, Zimmerman, Frank, and I drove out to Land's End. We got out of the car and walked the rest of the way.
Watch your step, Frank.
Yeah. Every time one of those waves breaks, it makes this ledge like glass.
Sutton?
Yeah, Joe.
You see anything yet?
No. Wait a minute. I'll see if I can yell to Zimmerman. He can see it from there. Maybe he can tell us if we're getting close.
Yeah.
Zimmerman! How we doing?
You hear what he's saying?
Wind's carrying his voice away.
He's waving his arms, pointing down below us.
Now, wait a minute.
Watch it, Joe. It's a long way down.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me.
See anything?
Wait till after this next wave breaks. Yeah. There he is. You see? Wedged in down here?
Yeah. It looks like him. Hard to be sure with all this water, though.
Yeah, I'll go down a little further.
Take it easy, Joe.
Yeah. It'll take a minute.
Watch it.
I'm all right.
How about it?
Yeah. Miss Fletcher.
I'd better get the crew up here and pull him out.
Yeah. Must have been carried this far by the current, huh?
Yeah, that's right, Joe. They get mean this time of the year.
Well, that does it. Huh?
Yeah, it looks that way.
What's the matter, Joe?
I was just thinking.
Yeah?
It's a rough way to die, isn't it?
Sure is. You'd think he'd have known, wouldn't you, Joe? About those currents out there from Alcatraz to Angel Island. Some of the meanest currents in the world out there.
Yeah, I know.
You'd think a guy like Fletcher would have known better. Working on a ship, he should have known about that water.
Well, maybe he did.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On April 23rd, an examination was held in the office of the coroner of the city and county of San Francisco. In a moment, the results of that examination.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, I just want to leave you with one thought tonight. Chesterfield is the first cigarette to give you scientific facts in support of smoking. Remember the study made by a competent medical specialist and staff. They examined a group of people who smoked only Chesterfields. After the examinations, the medical specialist stated, quote, "It is my opinion that the ears, nose, throat, and accessory organs of all participating subjects examined by me were not adversely affected in the 6-month period by smoking the cigarettes provided." End of quote. Of course, these cigarettes were Chesterfield. Remember these facts and buy Chesterfields, either way you like them, regular or king size. Premium quality Chesterfields, and much milder.
Upon completion of the autopsy, the body was identified as Raymond S. Fletcher. The identification was made by his personal effects, fingerprints, and the personal identification of Captain James R. Jackson. Further investigation showed that the suspect had rented the apartment where the body was found and that he was guilty of the murder of Alice Hudson. His fingerprints were checked and found to be the same as those on the murder weapon. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, June Whitley, Peter Leeds. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size, Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. Much milder Chesterfield.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles. Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. You get a report that high-grade heroin is being sold in your city. The key men in the operation are well hidden. You have no leads to their identity. Your job? Stop them. These are the reasons thousands are changing to Chesterfield, and why you should change to Chesterfield today.
Only Chesterfield gives you scientific facts in support of smoking.
Only Chesterfield names its ingredients. Ingredients that give you the best possible smoke.
Only Chesterfield gives you premium quality in both regular and king size.
That means king-size Chesterfield contains tobacco of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette. It's the same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield. And there's enough to give you more than a 1/5 longer smoke. Yes, more than a 1/5 longer smoke from king-size Chesterfield.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em. Premium quality Chesterfield. And much milder.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, August 3rd. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of narcotics detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Kearney. My name's Friday. It was 9:37 a.m. when we got to the main jail. Felony section. Hi, John.
Friday, Smith. What do you want?
Anderson, 302.
Anderson, 302, interview.
How's he feeling this morning, John?
I don't know. I just checked in a while ago. I heard he gave the fellow some trouble early this morning. Guess he's pretty rocky.
Hi, Anderson.
What do you guys want?
Want to talk to you.
Down this way, Anderson.
Hope you guys know I don't feel so good. Terrible night. I hope I never have to go through any more of them.
Yeah.
You gonna do something about it?
What do you mean?
You're gonna get me out of here. Let me shove off.
You know better than that, Anderson.
Yeah. Should have known. You guys don't care. You just don't know.
Right in here. Sit down.
You guys got to do something for me, though. I can't take much more of it. Can't you talk to the doctor, have him give me something? He's got it. Just a little bit. I tell you, I'm sick.
We'll have the doctor give you some medicine, Anderson. A couple things we want to check with you.
You know what I need. It ain't medicine. Can't we do this later? I tell you, I don't feel good. Can't you talk to the doctor?
You're booked as Fred J. Anderson. That's your true name?
Yeah. Fred J. Anderson.
What's the J stand for?
You have to know?
We do.
Jeremiah, my father's name.
You have any other names?
What do you mean?
You use any aliases?
No, none.
Any nicknames?
No.
You drive a car?
Yeah. 49 Ford Convert.
Who holds the pink slip on it?
I do.
You own it outright?
Yeah, look, do we have to go through that whole thing? Can't you ask me later? You guys don't believe me, but you're going to find out when I keel over. You'll know that.
What color's the car?
Maroon.
You know the license number?
No.
Where have you lived before?
Before what?
You gave the address of 10624 Ivorine Avenue. That's what we have here. Hollywood, is that right?
Yeah, that's where I live.
You belong to any lodges, anything like that?
No.
You ever in the armed services?
No.
No serial number, no branch.
Now, look, how about knocking this off? I'm getting tired of you guys leaning on me. You drag me in here, ask a lot of questions. I tell you I don't feel good. You don't believe me. Leave me alone. Let me go back to my cell, huh? As soon as I feel better, I'll answer all your questions.
We got a job to do, Anderson. We didn't build this thing. You knew what had happened when you started. Now, what's your draft number?
I don't know.
Did you register?
Sure.
Draft card in your wallet?
Yeah.
And we can get it.
You married?
No, not.
You were, though, huh?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. It didn't work. Bud was too nosy. Always wanted to know what I was doing. Always asking questions.
Have any kids?
No.
What's your wife's name?
Adelaide.
How do you spell that?
Adelade. Adelaide Morton.
Lousiest 2 years I ever spent.
Where'd she live?
I don't know, lost track.
Where did she live?
Same place up on Ivory, and I moved out when we got the divorce. I haven't seen her since. May still be there for all I know.
How about your nearest living relative?
Yeah, how about him?
Maybe you got things wrong, Anderson. You're booked in here on a narcotics charge. That's pretty serious. This isn't a game. The sooner you realize it, the better off you're going to be.
All right.
Nearest relative?
My brother lives in St. Paul. I don't know the address. I got it at home. We don't agree on a lot of things. I haven't seen him for a year or so.
What's his name?
Henry Alton Anderson.
That's your nearest relative?
That's what I said.
Anybody else?
No.
How about your friends? Who are they?
That's the line.
What?
That's where I stop answering these questions. You can maybe tie a bum rap on me, but you ain't going to get my friends mixed up in it. No, sir, that's where I draw the line.
All right, suit yourself, Anderson. We got a lot of time.
Got a cigarette, Joe?
Yeah. Here you are.
Thanks.
Anderson?
No.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Why you have to know who my friends are?
For a lot of reasons.
I don't want to embarrass them, that's all. I don't want them to have to answer a lot of silly questions. You can see that, can't you? Can't you?
Yeah, Anderson, we don't need to embarrass anybody. We just thought it would help here.
Well, I won't tell you. I don't feel well. I don't feel well at all. I'm not hooked anyway. You got no right to say that.
Look at your arm.
I ain't going to try to con you. Sure, I tried this stuff once or twice, but that don't mean I'm hooked. A couple of pops, that's all, just a couple of times.
That's not the way your arm makes it look. You've almost run out of places to put that needle, haven't you?
So maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was a couple of more times than I thought.
All right, now look, Anderson, I'm going to lay this out for you. We know there's a lot of H floating around. Has been for the past 3 months, and it's high grade. We know that you and the bunch you work for aren't too choosy who you sell it to. Now, we want the names and where you're getting the stuff. You say you're sick now. Wait a few more hours. Wait till your stomach starts to turn over. Wait till you can't make your hands do what you want them to. Wait till your head starts to crack open. You'll feel different then. We can wait. Well, let's take him back, Frank. Come on.
Wait a minute.
Yeah?
You going to take me back to the cell?
You called it.
I don't want to go back in.
Well, that's where you're going.
You're going to call the doctor, tell him to take care of me?
He knows already. He'll do what he can.
I can't go that route. You know that. Iron cure, I couldn't take it. It'd kill me.
You should have thought of that a long time ago.
Yeah, you can say that. You ain't got the habit. It's easy for you to say that. You don't know.
All right, let's go.
No, I want you got to do something.
I told you we'd do what we could.
That ain't enough.
It'll have to do.
I told you, help me out. Give me a hand, then I'll get over on your side. You know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
All right, tell us where you're getting the stuff.
Can't you help me out first?
The doctor will see you.
Okay. Where do you want me to start?
Where do you get the stuff?
From a guy.
What's his name?
Paul.
Paul what?
I don't know what his last name is, just Paul.
Where do you meet him?
Hollywood.
That's a big place. Where in Hollywood?
Different places. Sometime the corner of Hollywood and Vine, sometimes at Highland, once at Cherokee and Sunset, different places.
How do you know where?
He gets word to me.
How?
Guy tells me Paul wants to see me, that's all.
What does Paul look like?
Big guy, real big.
What does he look like? How tall is he?
6'2", maybe 250.
What's his coloring?
Dark. Looks like he's just come back from the beach. Looks real tan. You guys are going to help me out, aren't you, after all I done?
What color's his hair?
Black, curly black hair. How about it? You going to do me some good?
Any marks or scars on him?
Huh?
This Paul? Any marks or scars on him that'll make him easier to spot?
Yeah, he's got a scar across the bridge of his nose right here.
How old is he?
Oh, I guess about 38, maybe 40.
Drive a car, do you know?
Never saw one. He always walked up on me.
Is he a user?
I don't think so. Maybe joy pops once in a while. I don't think he's on the steady, though.
Is he the boss?
Huh?
He the head man in the operation?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's just one of the guys.
Where'd you meet him?
Bar downtown.
Were you introduced?
No, he just came up, started to talk to me. We got along, made a deal. I was around trying to make a buy, get a connection.
All right. I want you to look at some pictures. See if you can point this fellow Paul out for us.
Look, I've done my part. I told you. Now you guys got a chit to pick up. When do I get to see the doctor? When are you going to fix me?
We'll talk to him.
That wasn't a deal.
We made no deals.
You said you'd give me a hand.
We will. The doctor will do everything he can for you. We can't promise you any more than that.
Not much.
That's the way it is.
Lousy deal. Everything's on your side. You know it and you sure ride it. Someday I'll learn. It just don't pay.
Yeah, what's that?
Never scratch a cop's back.
10:46 a.m. We returned Fred Anderson to his cell and called a doctor for him. For the past 4.5 months, an organized gang had been selling high-grade heroin. From our informants, we learned that the drug was being made available to anyone who could pay the price. When we tried to stop the activities of the gang, we found ourselves up one blind alley after another. None of the buys we arranged took place. Meets with the higher-ups failed to materialize. When Fred Anderson was picked up, the narcotics found on his person was of the same quality and type that was being pushed around town. 2:34 p.m. We picked up Anderson and took him to the city hall to look at the mug books. He failed to identify any of the pictures. We checked the description of Paul against the people known to have dealt in narcotics, but failed to come up with an identification. Anderson was returned to his cell and held pending trial for violation of the State Narcotics Act, a felony. 4:17 p.m. We checked back into Captain Kearney's office.
That's it, Skipper. We're right back where we were 4 months ago.
Nothing at all on this Paul, huh?
Well, if there is, we haven't been able to find it.
You think Anderson's telling everything he knows about it?
No, I doubt it.
No, that description would fit 100 guys. You got any ideas of where we go from here?
Well, yeah, maybe. It might not work, but it's someplace to start.
Well, let's hear it.
All right, can we take a look at the map over here? From the information we got, the main operation must be taking place someplace down around here, around the harbor area.
Yeah?
From what we hear, the stuff's there, all right. Problem is how to find a connection.
Well, maybe if we just lose a man down there, we thought. Put a man down there and let him work on his own. He might be able to come up with some answers.
Pretty risky, Joe. That's a rough place. I wonder if it'd be worth risking a man down there.
I don't think we got much of a choice, Skipper.
No.
Well, we figured that maybe if I went down there and let it get around that I wanted to make a buy, a big one, maybe they'd come to me.
Why you? Why not let me have it?
Well, I thought that's the way we figured it. They know you down there. You used to work that area.
You're not in any better position, Joe. Fellas walking the streets down there that you've tangled with, they're not about to form any fan clubs for you.
Well, we've tried every other way. Informants, leads, every known pusher's been talked to. Still, the stuff keeps coming in, being sold. From where we sit, this looks like one way to get them.
All right, how you going to work it?
Well, I figure maybe I'll check into some hotel down there, eat in the places in the neighborhood, be seen around the bars, let it get around that I'm here from San Francisco, want to make a buy, and see what happens.
You know anything about San Francisco?
Well, I know the place pretty well. I spent a couple of years up there when I was in the Army.
I still don't like this idea of not being able to tag you, though.
Well, there's no other way.
Suppose so. How are we going to know how you're making out?
Well, I'll get word whenever I can, let you know before the buy, tell you where and when.
All right, Joe, you bought a piece of it. I'm not going to tell you what to do, you know, but take it easy. Don't make a target out of yourself. Remember, keep in touch with us.
Right, Skipper.
Let us know as much as you can, huh?
Yeah.
Take it easy, huh, Joe? Don't want anything to happen to you.
Yeah, well, I'm on your side there. August 4th, 8:35 a.m. Frank and I had identification made up bearing the name Joe Arnold. After a final talk with Captain Kearney, I went home, got my car, and left for San Pedro. 6:42 p.m. I checked into a hotel on 6th Street. The hotel, according to the information we had obtained, was near the narcotics distribution center. 8:12 p.m. I went next door to the bar.
Yeah?
Give me a beer, huh?
Eastern?
I don't care.
Okay. That'll be 30 cents.
All right. There you go.
Thanks.
Not much doing, huh?
No, it's pretty early yet. Gets a little frantic later.
Mm-hmm.
You're around here, aren't you?
Yeah, just down from San Francisco.
Nice town. I was up there a couple of years ago. Spent a week. Sure like it.
Yeah, it's a good place to live.
Sure seems to be. You know, if I could get a job up there, I think I'd move up.
Yeah?
Hey, slide down, huh? We can talk while I clean up these glasses. Well, that is, if you don't mind. Talk.
Oh, it's all right.
Glasses. Seems like you never get them done.
Yeah.
You down here on business?
Well, I guess you could say that.
Uh-huh. Sort of combined, huh?
Yeah.
And now look at that.
What's that?
I spent half the day slicing these oranges for old-fashioned, and then people don't eat them. A lot of wasted motion.
Yeah, I guess it is.
What line of business you in?
Nothing special. Just moving around. Wherever I can make a buck, I stop. They should have to call me a promoter, I guess.
Is that what you put down in your income tax returns?
What?
You know, when you fill out your income tax. It says there how you make your living. Where do you put that?
Business management.
That's good. Business management. Whose business you manage?
Mostly my own. Pretty good idea for everybody, isn't it? 3 weeks passed. I spent some time in most of the local bars and eating places. On occasion, I'd see other officers from the narcotics detail up in L.A. On each of these meetings, I'd have to pass them by and hope that they wouldn't show any evidence that they knew me. During the 3 weeks, I became friendly with the bartender, and in the course of many conversations, I let it be known that I was in town hoping to make a substantial narcotics buy. At first, he appeared only mildly interested, but then he began to ask more and more questions about my background and about the people I knew in San Francisco. Friday, August 27, 9:31 p.m.
All right, Joe, I'll go to the battle.
I'm moving around. That's about all I can say.
Hey, want a beer?
Yeah, fine. There you Here's your 30 cents.
Not tonight, Joe. It's on the house.
Why? What's the occasion?
I got some good news for you, Joe.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got a friend I want you to meet. I think he can help you make a connection.
Yeah? Where is he?
No, look, I'm not promising anything, Joe. The guy knows some people and might be able to help you.
Why are you so interested?
I figure maybe I can make a buck or two.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is the guy here now?
Yeah, he's back there in the in booth. See, the other guy?
Well, that helps. Which one is your friend?
The big one. You know, the fellow with the gray suit on, cigar over his nose.
Gray suit, huh? Yeah, I see.
Come on, I'll take you back.
All right.
Nice guy, Joe. You'll like him.
Well, what'd you tell him?
Well, just that you were here from Frisco. Said you were interested in the connection if the deal was good.
Uh-huh.
You make your own deal now. Look, I got nothing to do with that. You'll really like him. Paul?
Yeah?
This is the guy I was telling you about, Joe Arnold. This is Paul Ginner.
Oh, hi, Joe. Sit down. Bring us another round, will you?
Yeah, right away, Paul.
You know what you want? Make it snappy, huh?
Yeah, right away. Beer, scotch, and soda, and old-fashioned Irish whiskey.
Yeah, that's right. Leave the garbage out of the old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, sit down, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
This Jack Potter, you two ought to know each other.
All right?
Yeah, he's from Frisco, too.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Now, a report every smoker should hear.
Only Chesterfield gives you scientific facts in support of smoking.
First such report ever published about any cigarette. A responsible consulting organization reports a study by a competent medical specialist and staff on the effects of smoking Chesterfields. For 6 months, a group of men and women smoked only Chesterfield, 10 to 40 a day, their normal amount. 45% of the group have smoked Chesterfields from 1 to 30 years, for an average of 10 years each. At the beginning and end of the 6 months, each smoker was given a thorough examination, including x-rays, and covering the sinuses, nose, ears, and throat. After a thorough examination of every member of this group, the medical specialist stated,
"It is my opinion that the ears, nose, throat, and accessory organs of all participating subjects examined by me were not adversely affected in the 6 months period by smoking the cigarettes provided."
Of course, these cigarettes were Chesterfields. Remember this report and buy Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size. Premium quality Chesterfield, and much milder.
In normal undercover work, the police officer is in constant touch with the men working with him. This is done either by one officer trailing the undercover man or by phone calls to a fellow officer at appointed times. Rarely does the working detective put himself in the position where he doesn't have constant contact with the men he works with. However, in this instance, it appeared to be the only way information and evidence could be obtained. Friday, August 27th, 10:46 p.m. The bartender brought the drinks. Paul Ginner and Jack Potter started asking the questions.
From Frisco, huh?
Yeah, I'm from San Francisco.
Jack and I do some business together, real estate.
That's so?
Here you're in the management business, huh?
Bartender talks a lot, don't he?
He knows who to talk to. Tells me you're down here on business.
Yeah.
Where do you live up north?
Hyde, near Taylor.
I used to live around there.
That right?
Yeah. Hey, they ever finished that work they were doing at the corner of 3rd and Market?
What's that?
Well, the construction they were doing at 3rd and Market. You know, that new dime store, they get it finished?
Yeah, they got it finished. It's not at 3rd and Market. Now, what's this all about, Ginner? What are you trying to prove?
What?
You got any questions to ask about me? Ask me. Don't ask your boy to do it here. You want to check up on me? Talk to somebody who's in San Francisco now. Have him check around. It's all there. I got no worries. When you two get tired of playing games, let me know. I got no time for them now. I'll see you around.
Sit down, Arnold.
Yeah?
Now, read it any way you want. You say you want to do business, I'm your boy. We got to be sure. Can't take any chances. Cops are dying to find out. Can't let that happen, you know.
Yeah, well, if you're ready to talk a deal, let's get to it, huh?
You figure to do this business in Frisco?
San Francisco? Yeah, that's where I figure to work.
You're out of your mind. That town's tied in a drum. Nobody can get under the lid.
Now, you look, I don't ask you where you get your real estate. Don't tell me how to manage my business. I want to make an investment for a client. I got $10,000. That'll buy a whole tract of your lots now. Are they for sale or not? It's that simple.
Well, now, you're in kind of a hurry, ain't you?
I've been here for 3 weeks. I don't want to spend any more time than I have to. When can I make the buy?
Tell you what, let's take a tour of the town, meet some friends of mine, then we can talk about it. No need to be in a hurry.
I got to see it first. I want to make sure it's the same stuff I heard about.
Where'd you hear?
A few rumbles around. High-grade stuff. That's what I want.
Let's go.
Can't you call this friend? I don't want to go traipsing all over town.
He moves around. Sometimes it's kind of hard to find. Besides, it serves two purposes.
What's that?
Give you a chance to meet some people. Once you get to know the town, you won't be in such a hurry to get away.
There's just one thing. Maybe I won't like your friends.
More important.
Yeah?
Maybe they won't like you.
For the next 3 hours, Ginter, Potter, and I visited almost every bar, nightclub, and coffee stand in the area. At each of the places, Ginter would ask for a man named Ainley. When he was told that Ainley wasn't in, we'd sit and have a drink. Ginter would call as many people as he knew over to the table, introduce them to me, and then before we left, he'd hold a conference with them at their tables. At several of the places, I saw men who I knew were involved in the narcotics trade, but none of them happened to be close to Ginter. It was obvious what Ginter was trying to do. He was checking me with the people in the business to see if any of them could recognize me or could give them any information about me. Saturday morning, August 28th, 3:14 a.m. We stopped for breakfast.
Here, you want some sugar?
No, I take it mine.
Okay, how about you, Jack?
Yeah, thanks.
Looks like it might have been a wild goose chase, huh? I don't know where Ainley could be.
Why don't you come off of this, Skinner?
Yeah, what do you mean?
I'm not a new boy. You're about as subtle as a bulldozer. What's the scoop here? Your friends tell you anything about me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just looking for Ainley. It's as phony as that look you got on your face now. How about it? Do I make the buy or don't I?
All right, you make the buy.
When?
You got the money?
I'll have it when the buy comes off.
10,000.
That's right.
Okay, you can pick up the stuff tomorrow night.
4:30 a.m. Ginter outlined the plan for the buy. At 7:30 that night, I was to meet him on the corner of Lebanon and Spring Streets. He'd take me to Ainley, who had the plan. 5:29 a.m. I drove back to Los Angeles. I put in a call to Frank Smith at his home and filled him in on the developments. It was arranged for me to be spotted when I got to the corner and then to be followed until the buy was made. At that time, Frank and the other officers working with him would move in and take Ginter and Ainley. I told Frank that I'd leave my car at the corner of 6th and Spring at noon that day. At that time, he would place a briefcase on the back seat of the car. In the briefcase would be packages of cut newspaper with a few $10 bills attached to each stack on the outside. I checked into a hotel down on 5th and got some sleep. At 7:30 p.m., August 28th, I was at the corner of Spring and Lebanon.
Hi, Arnold.
Hello, Ginter. Where do we go?
You got the money?
In this case here.
Where's your car?
Lot around the corner. We have to drive to the meet?
Yeah. Come on, this way.
My car's just around the corner.
Don't worry, we'll take mine.
All right, no problem.
Makes it nice. Here.
Want to slide in this side? Be quicker.
All right.
Where do we have to go?
It's not far.
How come we didn't make the deal in Pedro?
Ainley likes to do the big business up here. More people, easier cover.
Mm-hmm. When we first pulled away from the curb, I thought I could make out Frank and Captain Kearney in back of us. We drove for about an hour. Ginter cut down every side street in the area. Every place he drove, he kept his eye on the rearview mirror. I was afraid he'd make the tail. He drove out Sunset Boulevard and back down Wilshire, down Spring and over to Hope Street. Along the way, I lost sight of Frank and Captain Kearney. Finally, at 8:36, we pulled up at the corner of Spring and Lebanon. What's the deal, Ginter? This is where we started.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have a tail.
You satisfied now?
Yeah. Come on in here.
This hotel here?
Mm-hmm.
Ainley do business in a rat trap like this?
He works where he has to. Come on, it's on the second floor. We can walk.
You sure this is the same stuff that I heard about?
You'll see.
Understand, I'm not buying any junk.
Don't worry. What we got's good. It's down here.
Come in.
Hello, Mr. Ainley.
Mr. Ginter, this the young man?
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Arnold, Mr. Ainley.
How are you?
You have the money, young man?
Yeah, it's in here. You got the stuff?
I have, here in this case.
Looks like a doctor's bag.
It's a good place to carry it. Doctor's bag. Here, open the bundle yourself. High grade, best we can get.
Yeah, looks all right.
Fine. Now, if we could have the money.
Here you are. Well, if it's all right with you, I'll get out of here now.
We'd like you to wait until we count the money.
It's all there.
I don't doubt it, young man, but just to make sure so there'll be no repercussions later, you understand? Everything looks in order. What are you trying to pull?
What do you mean?
What is this, Ginter?
What's the matter?
There's nothing but paper, plain newspaper.
All right, Arnold, make a move, I'll kill you. Let me see. What are you trying to pull?
All right, you're under arrest, both of you.
Cop, lousy cop.
That's right.
You got the shoe on the wrong foot, cop. I'm telling you what to do.
There's men all through this building. You won't make the front door.
How about it, Mr. Ainley?
Let's take him down to Pedro. We can get rid of him there. It'll be better.
How about the rest of them?
He's bluffing. You made sure you weren't followed, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you or didn't you?
Yeah.
Then there's nothing to worry about. Let's go.
Well, you heard him, Arnold. Whatever your name is.
Yeah.
Let's walk down, not too fast.
I'm parked out front.
Good.
All right, this is far enough.
Come on, don't stall. Don't cause any trouble.
You won't make it.
Yeah, you bet. Come on. Now move.
All right, down these stairs.
Smith, cover the other side.
Yeah.
Walker, block off that end of the hall.
Right, Captain.
You all right, Friday?
Yeah, fine. Watch that guy, Frank.
I got him. Hold it up, mister. You're not going anyplace.
Fool, you stupid fool, Ginter. Can't even lose a tail.
Okay, both of you. Hands behind your back.
I told you to make sure you weren't followed. I told you.
I lost him. I know I did. I tell you, I lost him.
All right, let's go. Come on, let's move.
You didn't lose him.
It's an up talk. Come on.
Those guys never learn, do they, Frank?
What do you mean?
Well, they keep lying right up to the finish, don't they?
How's that?
Well, Ginter and Ainley there. They'll be arguing all the way downtown about them losing you when you were tailing us.
Shouldn't be any argument, Joe. We lost you someplace along Wilshire.
But you got here all right. I thought this is the way you played it.
No, we just took a guess you might come back to your car.
Yeah, it was a pretty good guess for me, anyway.
Why? We'd have gotten them sooner or later.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 9th, trial was held in Department 92, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Veneman. Friends, I have just enough time to remind you that Chesterfield is the first cigarette to name all its ingredients. First to give you premium quality in both regular and king size. And first to give you scientific facts in support of smoking. I believe you should change to Chesterfields, either way you like them, regular or king size. And do it today.
Paul Robert Ginter and James Arthur Ainley were tried and convicted of violation of the State Narcotic Act, a felony. They received sentences as prescribed by law. Violation of the State Narcotic Act, a felony, is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not more than 6 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 7 years of bigger and bigger enrollments, America's grade schools will need nearly 250,000 extra teachers, besides those to fill normal vacancies. This great need, plus the growing public interest in education and improvements in schools, make elementary school teaching a more rewarding career than ever, a career that high school and college students should certainly consider. Education holds America's future, perhaps your future.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Frazier. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Whit Connor, Harry Bartell, Lee Marvin. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size, Chesterfield gives you the best possible smoke. Much milder Chesterfield.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles. Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. You get a call that the body of a man has been found in an alley. He's been strangled with his own necktie. The body has been robbed. There's no lead to the killer. Your job, find him. Thousands are changing to Chesterfield. both regular and king size. Because Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both sizes.
That means king-size Chesterfield contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette.
It's the same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield, and there's enough to give you more than a 1/5 longer smoke. Yes, more than a 1/5 longer smoke from king-size Chesterfield.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em. Premium quality Chesterfield, and much milder.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Sunday, February 10th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. We'd gotten the call at 8:36 a.m., and it was 8:49 a.m. when we got to the corner of 18th and Winfield, the back alley.
Must be it there.
Yeah, there's Harper.
Sergeant, back here. Hi, Friday, son.
Harper, where is he?
Back here.
Who found him?
The fellow gives his name is Alexander Jones.
Where's he now?
Al's got him out in the car. Figured you want to talk to him. Pretty bad off.
Yeah.
Must have had himself a real time last night. He's seeing things this morning. We picked him up just coming out of the alley. Stopped to talk to him. It looked like he was having a real rough time.
Jones, huh?
Yeah, probably not his real name. I've seen him around here before. There's the body.
Strangled.
Yeah, an ambulance is here. Here's a slip. He was DOA.
Yeah. See how the tie's pulled up out of the shirt.
Looks like he was robbed. Pockets all turned inside out.
You want to call the crime lab, Frank?
Yeah.
Found a couple of footprints over here in the gutter. Heel indentation looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Put this box over them. I don't know if they'll mean anything. Thought I'd better keep them for you, though.
Mm-hmm. It's like the body was dragged back here, doesn't it? Marks in the dirt.
Yeah.
How about the neighborhood, Harper? Anybody around here see anything?
Well, I don't know. There wasn't anybody on the streets when we picked up this Jones guy. Haven't had a chance to canvass the area. Didn't want to leave here, you know.
Yeah. Well, we better call the office head and send out a couple of men.
Call Lee. He'll be right out. Got him at home. He's sound asleep. Said he'd call the lab and have Alan bring the stuff out and Lee'd come right here.
How about the coroner?
He's on his way.
Well, I want to call the office, Frank, and get some help checking the stores around, see if anybody heard anything.
I used the phone in the cigar store on the corner. Guy in there said he opened up about 7:15. Said he didn't know anything about it. Store's back door is right there. See the one with the cigar posters on it?
Yeah. All right, come on. I'll call in, and then we can check some of the other places, huh?
All right.
I'll wait here, Sergeant, until the rest of them come.
Fine, thanks, Harper. We'll be in the stores around the street side there.
Okay.
Let us know when Lee gets here, will you?
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
Well, I don't know. The way he's dressed there, good clothes, looked like he had money. Doesn't figure, does it?
Yeah?
What was he doing down here? 9:12 a.m. I called the office, and 2 teams of men were sent out to help us canvass the area. Frank and I checked with the owner of a liquor store who was getting ready to open for business. He told us that he'd come in early that morning to clean up his store and that he'd taken a load of trash out into the alley at about 8:25 a.m., but at that time he hadn't seen the body. He went on to say, however, that it was possible that it might have been there, and he just didn't notice it. 9:26 a.m. Sergeant J. Allen and Lieutenant Lee Jones from the crime lab arrived and began collecting the physical evidence. The body and the surrounding area were photographed. Photographs were taken of the footprints that Officer Harper had found. They were compared with the shoes worn by the victim, but they didn't match. The coroner went through the dead man's pockets but found nothing. Everything had been removed, all his personal effects, if any. The crew from the crime lab went through the alley and found a wallet behind the garbage cans at the rear of the liquor store. There was no money in it, but other papers hadn't been disturbed. Driver's license, Social Security card, and several business cards in the wallet bore the name of Arthur McKinley. The description on the license matched that of the victim. Comparison of the thumbprint on the driver's license with those taken from the body matched. McKinley's home address was listed as 9722 Willetta Street in Hollywood. The coroner removed the body. 10:52 a.m., Frank and I talked to Alex Jones, the man who had been in the alley where the body had been found. We had him take everything out of his pockets.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't kill anybody.
We didn't say you did. All we want to know is what were you doing in that alley?
I went there to get away.
From what?
People. They're no good. None of them. No good.
You got a job?
Yeah, I work.
What do you do?
Wash dishes sometimes.
Pearl diver?
No, sir. I'm no pearl diver. I'm a bartender. I don't feel so good. You got anything to drink around here?
You know better than that, don't you?
No, I didn't mean booze. Something cold. Feels like somebody's closed a valve in my head. Feels like it's going to blow apart. Isn't there something, anything, as long as it's cold?
How about a Coke?
Yeah, be fine.
I'll get it for you. Want one, Joe?
No, thanks.
Mind if I go with you? Kind of stuffy in here.
All right, come on, we'll all walk down. You ever been arrested, Alex?
Yeah, a couple of times. Picked me up for being drunk.
What's your real name, Alex?
Stafford. Alex Stafford, that's the truth.
Where you from?
Kansas.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing out here?
Figured that when I got out of the service, I'd come out here and go to work.
Yeah?
Got out here, spent a couple of days looking for a job, had my muster and out pay about $400. Figured I didn't have to go to work right away.
Just a second. All right, here you go.
Thanks.
You want one, Frank?
No, thanks. I want to check R&I and see if they finished the run on McKinley yet.
Sure cold. Tastes good. Feel better.
That's fine. All right, let's go. Frank, see you back at the interrogation room.
Okay, Joe.
Want to stop at the office, give the coroner's office a call?
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I figured that I didn't have to come up with a job right away, so I started to see the town. You know, try to find a place to work where I could maybe do some good.
Right.
Where I could do some good. Where the tips would be good, you know, nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went around to the bars, talked to the bartenders, checking around. Each of the places I'd have a drink, you know, just to be sociable.
Yeah.
It wasn't long before my dough was gone. I was flat broke, kicked out of my room. I can't blame the landlady. She carried me for a couple of months. Finally said I had to go.
All right, go ahead. What do you mean when you said that you were running away from people?
I got a job yesterday, washing dishes in a restaurant down on Spring. I worked like a dog. When I left last night, they paid me. I guess the boss knew I didn't have any money, no place to sleep.
Yeah.
I started to find a bed. And then I got to thinking that a drink might make me sleep better. So I stopped at a bar and had a couple. I had a couple more. I guess I fell asleep.
Yeah?
And anyway, I went into the alley, that one where you found the dead man, and I sat down and I went to sleep again. When I woke up, I was walking out when a cop in the car stopped me.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I didn't know the man was in there. Honest, I didn't. Now, you gotta believe me, because somebody's gotta believe me. I didn't know he was there.
Anything?
Not on McKinley. Found Alex record.
Yeah.
Like you said, a couple of drunk arrests, that's all.
I told you. Didn't I tell you that, huh? I got nothing to hide. I didn't even know the man was there.
All right, take it easy. Anything from the coroner?
Yeah, Joe, I called. Fixes the time of death at about 11:30 last night. Body hasn't been posted yet.
All right. You proved where you were at 11:30 last night, can you, Alex?
I don't know. I was someplace.
Yeah, we know that, but where?
Well, I got to think. 11:30. I was still working. I was washing dishes in the place over on Spring.
You can prove that, can you?
Yeah, sure. The boss, he'll tell you. He saw me. I didn't leave until 12. That's when I left the place. 12 o'clock, he'll tell you. 12 midnight.
All right, Alex.
Can I go now?
Well, we got to put in a call first. Maybe it might be better if we held you over a little while.
Why? I haven't done anything.
Well, it's against the law to be drunk on the streets. You know that, Alex.
Yeah, I guess I did. You're going to put me in jail, huh?
No, we're going to have to book you. The judge will decide where you're going to go. Probably be the county work farm.
Yeah. It was probably better that way. Give me a chance to get off the booze. Boy, I had it this time. Seeing those things. Just one thing, Sergeant?
Yeah?
I want to make sure you understand that you really believe me.
What's that, Alex?
I'm not a dishwasher. I'm a bartender.
12:18 p.m. We had Alex Stafford booked at the main jail on a charge of violation of 4127 LAMC, drunk. We called the place where he'd been employed and found that he'd been telling the truth about the time he had left the restaurant on Spring Street. 1:36 p.m. We drove out to McKinley's home in Hollywood. It was a small stucco cottage set into the side of a hill. In front of the house, there was a boy's bicycle and a smaller child's wagon. Frank rang the bell, and we waited.
Yes?
Miss McKinley?
Yes, that's right. What do you want?
Police officers, ma'am. We'd like to talk to you.
It's about Arthur, isn't it? Isn't it?
It might be better if we talked inside, Mrs. McKinley.
All right. Come on in. You have to excuse the way the house looks. I haven't felt like cleaning it up. I've been so worried about Arthur.
That's quite all right, ma'am.
Now, what is it you want to tell me about him? He's dead, isn't he? You don't have to lie about it. I know he's dead. I spent the whole night thinking about it. You can probably tell I haven't gotten any sleep. I don't want you to lie about it. I want the truth. Arthur's dead, isn't he?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
I'll have to sit down.
Was something we can get for you, Miss McKinley? Water, something like that?
No. Nothing.
Why do you say you knew your husband was dead, ma'am?
I just knew it, that's all. I can't tell you how. I can't put it into words, but I just knew it, that's all. When he called last night, I knew.
What time was that, ma'am?
About 6:30. Said he was just leaving the shop and that he was on his way home. It was his birthday. He's going to stop and get some beer and a couple of bottles of bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
We're having some people in. He said he was going to stop for some things. Then he said he'd be right home.
Yes, ma'am.
And the children waited up for him till 10 o'clock. That's way past their bedtime. I let them wait up. They had some presents they wanted to give their father. Arthur Jr. had made a wallet and handcraft class at school, all tooled and carved and everything. It's on the table there.
Mm-hmm.
Little girl got him an ashtray. She picked it out by herself. It's on the table, too. Guess maybe you'll never get it now.
I wonder if we could call your family doctor, ma'am. You don't look like you're well.
No. I just can't believe it yet. But I know it's true. That's funny, isn't it? I know it's true, but I don't believe it. I know it's true, and I don't believe it. How did it happen? Was it an accident in the car?
No, ma'am. He was murdered.
Arthur, he was murdered?
That's right, Miss McKinley.
Miss McKinley. There's no Mr. McKinley anymore. He was murdered.
I think maybe you better let us call a doctor for you, ma'am, get you something.
No, there's nothing a doctor can do. Nothing anybody can do. Nothing. Who did it, you know? You know who killed him?
No, ma'am, we don't, not yet.
You said your husband called you from the shop, ma'am. What shop would that be?
That's the florist shop. Our shop. We owned it. He called me from there about 6:30 and said he'd be home. That he was going to stop for some things and then he'd be home. But he wasn't. I knew it. I knew it all night. I thought of what I'd say, what I'd do, how I'd feel, but now none of it fits. None of it seems to matter. Nothing matters much. Nothing. He said he was coming right home.
Who's your family doctor, ma'am?
What'd you say?
Your family doctor, ma'am. Who is he?
Dr. Simpkins in Hollywood. Dr. Simpkins, Hollywood, 27083.
Want to call him?
Yeah.
He said he was going to pick up a few things and come right home. My husband, Arthur McKinley. You know that, do you?
Ma'am?
There is no Mr. McKinley anymore, is there?
We called the McKinley family doctor. He arrived and gave Mrs. McKinley a sedative. Frank and I talked to her before it took effect. We asked her about her husband's friends, his business associates. She could give us no new leads. She told us that her husband usually brought the weekend receipts from the store home with him on Sunday nights so that he could make out the deposit slip for the bank. She said that he usually had about $300 to $400 on Sunday night. She gave us the name of the liquor store where he did business. 2:47 p.m. Frank and I drove out to the store.
Gentlemen, what can I do for you?
Mr. Kennedy?
Good night.
Police officer, Mr. Kennedy. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure, anything to help the police. Nothing that I've done, is it?
No, sir. It's about Arthur McKinley.
He get home last night? His wife called, seemed pretty upset. Nothing wrong, is there?
Was Mr. McKinley in here last night, sir?
Yeah, he was. Let's see, I guess it's about 6:45. Come in, got a case of beer, a couple bottles of bourbon.
Uh-huh. Was there anybody with him when he came in?
No, there wasn't.
Did he seem all right to you when he was there?
What do you mean?
Well, was he in good spirits? Did he act like anything was wrong?
No, of course that don't mean anything.
Sir?
Well, even if there wasn't anything wrong with Arthur, you'd never know it. Always laughing, always had a joke. He had a great one last night, real funny.
Yeah?
He told the one about the two musicians that were walking down the railroad track, and one of them said to the other, "Boy, this is the longest stairway I ever been down."
Well, yes, sir.
And then the other musician said, "I don't mind that, but these low banisters are killing me." Low banisters. Say, what's this all about anyway? Something happened to Arthur?
He's been murdered, Mr. Kennedy.
Arthur? Arthur McKinley? You sure?
Yes, sir. We're sure.
How about that? Only last night I saw him laughing away. He was killed. You know who did it?
No, sir, not yet.
How about that? But his wife's pretty upset.
Do you know anyone who might want to kill him?
No, not Arthur.
Anybody in the neighborhood he had quarrels with? Any disagreements?
No, not I can think of.
Well, has there been anybody new, anybody you don't know hanging around the neighborhood lately? Anybody who could have known about McKinley's carrying that money around with him?
Well, let me think. Yeah, come to think about it, there is a fella. Seen him around the last couple of days. Matter of fact, I saw him last night when I helped Arthur carry the beer out to the car. Sure, that's where I saw him.
Sir?
He was in the car with Arthur.
February 10th, 3:50 p.m. We continued to question John Kennedy. He told us that when Arthur McKinley had left the liquor store, he had carried a case of beer out to the car for him. Kennedy said there was a man waiting in the car. The liquor store owner told us that he had seen the man in the neighborhood on several previous occasions, that the man had talked to most of the shopkeepers in the vicinity asking for odd jobs. Kennedy went on to say that he had hired him himself once to wash the front windows of the store. He gave us a complete description, and Frank called it into the office. A local and an APB were gotten out on him. Kennedy was unable to give us his name or tell us where the suspect might live. He agreed to go downtown to the city hall and look through the mug books for us. He called his brother down to take charge of the store, and as soon as he arrived, Kennedy was taken down to the office. 5:17 p.m. We drove back to the McKinley home. Mrs. McKinley had recovered from the initial shock of finding out that her husband was dead. We asked her if she knew where her husband's car was, and she told us that as far as she knew, he had driven it the night before, and that she hadn't seen it since. She gave us the description and license number, and we called it into the office. A broadcast was gotten out on it. We asked Mrs. McKinley to go with us to her husband's store, and she agreed. On a table in back of the store, we found 2 empty beer bottles and a couple of glasses. Leighton Prince was called, and they came out and lifted 2 sets of fingerprints from the bottles and the glasses. Crime Lab came out and photographed the place. There was no sign of a struggle, but there was evidence that there had been a party there the night before. We drove Mrs. McKinley back to her home, and at 8:13 p.m., Frank and I checked back into the city hall.
Long day, huh, Joe?
Yeah, I'm getting a little tired. What do you want to eat tonight?
Doesn't make any difference. Go ahead.
I'll get it. Homicide, Friday. Yeah, Dean. Mm-hmm. They did, huh? Who? Oh, let me get that. Yeah, I got it. Okay, thanks, Dean. Yeah, you bet. Good night. It was Bergman. They made the prints on that bottle and glass.
Yeah?
A fellow named Fred Gerard. Did time for armed robbery.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
We like to give you the facts about Chesterfield so you can be your own judge.
Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to tell you what it's made of. The world's best tobaccos, kept tasty and fresh by pure and costly moistening agents, the best that money can buy. And Chesterfield cigarette paper is of the highest purity.
Now, Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to present this scientific evidence on the effects of smoking.
A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group have smoked Chesterfields for an average of 10 years. He reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Sunday, February 10th, 8:30 p.m. Frank and I pulled a package on Fred Gerard. He'd been arrested in 1942 on a charge of violation of 211 PC. He'd been convicted and had served 5 years in the penitentiary at San Quentin. We checked back with John Kennedy, the man who had seen Arthur McKinley leave the liquor store in the company of the man we figured to be the murderer. When we entered the mug room, he was talking to Sergeants Joe LaMonica and Danny Galindo. They told us that so far he had been unable to identify the man he had seen with McKinley. We showed him a mug shot of Gerard, and he positively identified it. Kennedy went on to say that as far as he was concerned, there could be no mistake, and that as far as he knew, Gerard was the last man seen with the victim before his death. McKinley's car had been found 2 blocks from the alley where we'd found the body. In the back of it, the officers found the remainder of the case of beer and the 2 bottles of bourbon. Latent prints went out and dusted the car. They came up with 1 good set of prints other than the victim's. When these were checked, it was found that they matched the file copies of Gerard's fingerprints. 9:46 p.m. We drove out to the address listed in Gerard's package. His landlady showed us to his room. It was evident that he hadn't been in it the night before. Frank and I waited for him to return. 10 p.m. 11. 11:30.
What are you doing here?
You Fred Gerard?
Yeah, that's right. Who are you?
Police officers.
Oh, cops. What do you want with me?
You know a man named Arthur McKinley?
Why?
You know him?
Yeah, I know him. Anything wrong with that?
When'd you see him last?
Last night.
Where?
At his store. I came by about 6:15. We talked for a while, and then he closed the store. He said he had to get home for a birthday party, something like that. We went down the street to Kennedy's to get some beer, and then he went back to the store. I heisted a couple, and then I left.
What time was that?
Well, I guess about 8:30 or so. I had to meet a guy out in Santa Monica, so I left.
You left McKinley at his store?
Yeah, that's right. So what's this all about? What are you giving me problems for? I haven't done anything.
All right, take everything out of your pockets. Put it right down here.
Look, you got no right to barge in here, tell me what to do. I'm clean.
Then you got no reason for not cooperating now, have you?
Well, I suppose not.
Then take everything out of your pockets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keys.
Your money in your wallet?
Yeah.
How much you got?
I don't know. I have to count it.
All right, count it.
Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8 bucks and 6, 7, 8, 9, 92 cents. Canadian penny.
Was there anybody with McKinley and you when you were drinking?
No, I just went in the back of the store to have a beer, a little talk. We got along pretty good. He used to hire me once in a while, clean up the store, sweep out, things like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was he feeling all right when you left him?
I guess so. I didn't ask him, but he didn't say anything about it. Just said he had to get home for a party. His wife would be hacked if he was late. Like I said, I left at 9:15. You might ask Stu Bennett. He might be able to tell you something.
Who's he?
Owns a little grocery just down the street from McKinley.
You say he might know about McKinley?
Yeah, he was there when I left. I was walking out, and when Mr. McKinley opened the door, Bennett was walking by. He said he had some things he wanted to talk to McKinley about.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left, Bennett went into the store. What's this all about, anyway? Something happened, McKinley?
He's been murdered.
Oh, no kidding. He's a nice guy. You figured I did it, huh?
That's the way it looked.
Yeah. Well, I did some time. I won't try to con you. You probably know all about it anyway. I wouldn't kill anybody, though. I'm going straight. I've been working every day since I got out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, though.
Yeah.
You might talk to Stu Bennett. He was with him when I left.
Fred Gerard gave us a complete description of Stuart Bennett. We called the name into R&I, but he had no record. We checked Bennett's store and found a card on the front door that gave his home address. Frank and I drove out to his house. He lived in a new apartment development in the southwest section of town. Monday morning, 12:47 a.m. We rang the bell to his apartment. He's probably asleep.
Yeah. Want to try it again?
No.
Who is it?
Like to talk to you.
Just a minute.
Yeah?
Police officers. I'm Frank Smith. This is my partner, Joe Friday.
How do you do? Want to come in?
Right.
Well, what is it you wanted to talk to me about?
You know a man named Arthur McKinley? Do you?
I knew you'd find out. I knew it right after it happened. Knew it right away.
All right, you want to get dressed?
Yeah, all right. I came home last night after it happened. I thought about it. I thought. I wanted to go and tell you about it. I knew that I'd done a terrible thing. Killed Arthur. Killed another human being. You got to understand one thing, Mr. Friday.
What's that?
It's important to me. I'm not a vicious man.
Why'd you kill him?
Well, I stopped last night to talk to him about all of us getting together as sort of a pool. hiring Fred to sort of take care of all the stores. That's what I went to see him about. I thought it'd be nice to have someone to take care of the stores, wash the windows, sweep up, and we'd all chip in and pay him. Sort of a pool, like I said.
Yeah?
We talked. Arthur wasn't too much in favor of the idea. Said he'd been thinking about giving Fred a regular job in the flower shop. Said things were real good with him. He thought he'd take on an assistant. Things were going real fine for him.
All right. You better get dressed. We'll go downtown.
After I killed him, I took him out of the store and put him in an alley.
Yeah?
Now, I wanted to come and tell you about it. I went down to City Hall. I walked up the stairs on Spring Street. You know the big ones?
Yeah.
I was going to give myself up. I wanted to tell you about it. And then when I got there, the doors were closed. The sign said to use the Main Street entrance. I sat down on the stairs. Sat there for a long time. I thought about telling somebody about what I'd done. And then I walked around by the police department. On the walk, it goes around. I looked in the window and saw the detectives. I wanted to go right in and tell them about it.
All right. Come on. Get your clothes on. Let's go.
Now, that should prove it to you.
What's that?
I'm not a vicious man.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 5th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, remember now, Chesterfield is first to present this scientific evidence on the effects of smoking. A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group have smoked Chesterfields for an average of 10 years. He reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Stuart Carlisle Bennett was tried and found guilty of murder in the first degree. He is now serving his term in the state penitentiary, San Quentin, California. Murder in the first degree is punishable by death or by confinement in the state penitentiary for life. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Eddie Firestone, Carolyn Jones, Herb Bygren. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Tonight, more adventure with Barry Craig, confidential investigator, on NBC.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. The body of a dead man has been found in the rear of his shop. He has been brutally beaten to death. The killer is unknown. Your job, find him. Thousands are changing to Chesterfield, both regular and king size, because Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both sizes.
That means king-size Chesterfield contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette.
It's the same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield. There is absolutely no difference, except that king-size Chesterfield is larger. Contains so much more of the same tobaccos, it gives more than a fifth longer smoke. Yes, more than a fifth longer smoke.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em. Premium quality Chesterfield. And much milder.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, July 5th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. It was 7:58 a.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
That you, Joe?
Yeah. How's it going?
Don't ask me.
What's the matter?
Went to the beach yesterday. Got so sunburned I could hardly sleep last night. I'm just miserable, Joe. It's going to be a week before I can wear a shirt without feeling I got army blanket on.
Well, can't you get something for it? Something to make it feel a little better anyway?
Don't bring that up either.
What's that?
If you've got any homemade remedies for sunburn, keep them to yourself. I've had them for now.
Yeah, why? What's the matter?
Like I said, we went to the beach yesterday. Beautiful day. They fixed up a lunch, sandwiches, potato salad, deviled eggs, all that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
We went down to Castle Rock, down the highway.
Yeah.
Just had a ball. Just great. Kids played in the water, and then when it got dark, we had a few 4th of July things for them. Sparklers, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got home, and I started to feel it.
What, the sunburn?
Yeah. Back feels like it's on fire, Joe. Legs feel like I got them in hot oil. Believe me, it's terrible. Took off my shirt, pants at home, just sitting there in my shorts. I was trying to figure out some way to stop the burning,
Yeah.
Well, it happened. In comes Armand.
Well, that's your brother-in-law, huh?
Yeah. He's read in some magazine where tea is the stuff for burns. Right away, he starts brewing tea.
Tea?
Yeah.
And you drink?
Yeah. Tells me to lay down on the floor, right flat on my stomach. I was feeling so miserable, I'd have done anything to get rid of the feeling, so I did just lay there. And he starts putting tea leaves all up and down my back of my legs, and felt real good at first, kind of cool,
Yeah. And all this time you're laying on your stomach there.
Yeah, right in the middle of the living room floor. He put papers down first, so the tea wouldn't drip all over the floor.
Well, you brew this stuff first.
Yeah, and then they put the tea leaves on me, but then the tea leaves started to dry. They crinkled all up, and the pain came back. Just miserable, Joe.
Well, did it do any good at all?
I don't know. They finally took it off and put some kind of ointment on my back. Helped a little. Had to sleep on my stomach all night. Couldn't turn over. I just lay real still. Once in a while, I'd fall asleep and roll over, and wow, I'd wake right up with the pain. I tell you, Joe, I didn't sleep at all. Not a wink.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't see what you're blaming Armand for. Seems like he did try to help you out, though.
Oh, sure, he tried. Whole thing was his fault. If he'd kept his big mouth shut, everything would have been all right.
How do you figure that?
A picnic. It was his idea, Joe.
It's a hot shot. I'll get it.
What is it?
Killing down on Bixel. 8:14 a.m. We arrived at the address on South Bixel. It was a small neighborhood pawn shop. A radio car had arrived, and the 2 officers had cleared the crowd away from the entrance of the store. One of the officers showed us through a curtain into the back room. Everything was smashed. Glass cases were demolished. Clothing from the shelves had been torn down and thrown all over the floor. At one side of the room, a closet door was half open, and in the closet was the body of a man. We started to talk with George Armstrong, the victim's partner.
Terrible. I don't want to look anymore. I don't want to believe it. Anybody would do this to Mark.
Mark? Is that your partner's name?
Yes, Mark Williams, my friend. We've been together the last 15 years. Knew each other for 10 years before that. I don't want to think about it.
Would you like to step out here, sir? Front part of the store?
Well, would it be all right?
Yes, it'd be fine.
I'll call the crime lab, Joe.
All right, good.
Where's the phone, sir?
It's back there on the wall.
Thanks.
I'd like to ask you some questions, if it'd be all right.
Yes?
You discovered the body, is that right?
Well, yes. This morning when I came in, I opened the store like I always do about, I think it was 7:45, I guess it was. Something like that.
I see.
I opened the front door like I usually do, and then I came in and put the water on for some tea. You can see there, you see that hot plate? Mark and I usually have a cup of tea when he comes in.
I see.
Well, then I went to the back room to hang up my coat. First, I thought that somebody had tried to rob the place. The way things, were scattered all over. Then I saw Mark laying on the floor, and I called you.
They're on the way, Joe. Okay. Did you always open up the store by yourself, Mr. Armstrong?
Yes. I don't know how it started, but somewhere along the line, I'd open up the place, and then Mark would clean up the shop and close. It's been that way for years.
When did you last see Mr. Williams? That is, when did you see him alive?
Saturday night. I left about 5:45. He was closing the place up. I told him that I'd meet him for breakfast Sunday morning. He wasn't there. I tried to call him at home, but there wasn't any answer. His landlady hadn't seen him.
Was he married, do you know?
No, he wasn't married. Same thing happened to both of us. Neither one of us married.
What's that, sir?
Well, you see, Mark and I are both in love with the same girl when we were younger. We used to take her to the park in the summer, listen to the band, concerts. Three of us, we used to go every place together. Like I said, both of us were in love with her. Well, things went along just fine for a year or so, and then she got married to someone else. Mark and I were pretty sad about it. Couldn't blame the girl, though. The guy she married was rich. He had a big house. It was a good family. We didn't have much of anything. No, neither of us married. Just never seemed to find a girl compared with Kate.
Kate?
Kate Dillon. She's a lovely girl.
This meeting you were going to have yesterday morning, was that a regular thing?
Oh, yes, it was. You see, about the only relaxation Mark and I had was bowling on the green.
Bowling?
Every Sunday that it didn't rain, we'd meet for breakfast and then catch a bus out to Exposition Park. Bowling club out there. Mark and I both belonged. Mark was a sort of local champion. Played a real good game.
Well, didn't you think that anything was wrong when he didn't meet you yesterday?
Well, yes, I did. I did at first. Then I got to thinking about it, and I figured maybe he wasn't feeling too good. Just didn't want to go out to the club.
Yes, sir?
He'd get like that, moody. Just for no reason at all. Decided he didn't want to go any place at all. Just sit in his room. Almost always came to work, even when he was in the mood. But now and then he'd just sit up there and look out the window.
Was there any special reason for all this?
No, not that I know of. He just get like that. No special reason. When he did, you just had to sit and let the mood pass. Nothing else to do.
I see. Well, did Mr. Williams have any enemies that you'd know of? Anyone at all that might do a thing like this?
No, sir. No one.
Was he alone when you left him Saturday night?
Yes, he was straightening up the shelves, getting the things in order. But he was all by himself. No one was here.
Well, have you ever had any trouble with anyone in the neighborhood lately? Somebody who might have been looking for trouble, maybe?
Well, Sergeant, most of our customers have trouble.
Well, yes, sir, but about how much money was on the premises when you left?
Maybe $1,500.
Where'd you keep the money?
In the safe, right there. You can see for yourself it's all right.
Would you mind opening it up just to be sure?
Well, if you want me to, but I'm sure everything's okay.
If you wouldn't mind, sir.
Okay. I know there's nothing wrong here. 43. You can see for yourself that everything's okay, can't you? 16 left.
Yes, sir. We just want to be sure.
Right to 8. There. You can see it.
Is the money kept in that strong box?
Yes, sir.
Who knew the combination to this safe? I mean, besides you.
Just Mark and me. We were the only ones. There. All the money's there.
Is there anything else missing from the store? Anything that you can see?
Well, Sergeant, look around you. If there was anything, how could I tell? I'd have to take a complete inventory. Well, what difference does it make? How's it going to help Mark?
Well, it's pretty important we find out why he was killed the way he was, sir. A beating and all. If you'd look around, you might be able to come up with something.
Oh, all right, I'll look around, but I tell you, I don't think there's anything gone.
All right, if you just do that, we'll look over the back room. It'll be all right.
Pretty bad, huh, Joe?
Yeah. Looks like revenge could have been the motive, maybe, from the looks of things here.
Yeah, it'd have to be something like that. Terrible beating. The way the place is all smashed up.
Yeah. Frank?
Yeah?
Come over here.
Yeah?
Look here in the closet. You can see it there under the body.
Oh, yeah, looks like a hand axe.
Yeah.
Might have been trying to defend himself, huh?
Well, maybe.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir?
You were right, absolutely right.
What's that, sir?
Well, he did steal something. The gun case had been broken into.
Yes, sir. Anything missing?
A couple of revolvers.
8:32 a.m. The crime lab crew arrived and went over the place. In the back room, under a pile of clothes, they found a 10-inch length of lead pipe. Dean Bergman from Leighton Prints dusted the room, the safe in the store, and the lead pipe. He came up with several clean prints. He rolled the dead man's fingerprints, and then he took Armstrong's. Comparison with those he'd found eliminated all of them except a partial print on the safe. The coroner arrived and removed the body. Frank and I canvassed the neighborhood, but none of the people in the area had noticed anyone suspicious in the last few days. We called the office, and Sergeants Joe LaMonica and Howard Hudson came out to help us in the search of the vicinity. The axe found in the hands of the victim, Mark Williams, had stains on the blade. A closer check of the pawn shop showed that several articles other than the guns had been stolen. George Armstrong gave us a complete list of the missing property along with the serial numbers of the guns. 11:34 a.m. Frank and I checked back into the city hall. Frank, did you get the APBs out?
Yeah? You notified the pawn shop detail. Any word from LaMonica and Hudson?
No, not yet. At least there's nothing in the book there. I get it. Homicide Friday. Oh, yeah, Jim. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we haven't heard from him yet. No. Where? Yeah. Yeah, well, that figures. Uh-huh. Okay, thanks. It's LaMonica. He and Hudson found a blood-stained shirt in an alley behind an apartment house a couple of blocks from the pawn shop.
Yeah?
Checked the apartment register, and they found a Wallace Holmes listed.
Holmes?
Yeah, LaMonica knows him.
Yeah?
Just served 6 months for violation of the Narcotics Act. (12:02 p.m. We ran the name Wallace Holmes through R&I. He had a record dating back almost 10 years. He'd been arrested twice for violation of the State Health and Safety Code and once on suspicion of 211 PC. We talked to the neighbors in the apartment building where he lived, but they told us that Holmes had been in bed with a bad cold for the past 3 days. Several of them had taken him food on occasion and stated positively that he could not have left the apartment. Bergman checked his fingerprints against those we'd found at the pawn shop. There was no make. A stakeout was placed on the building. 2:15 p.m. We checked with the crime lab to see if Ray Pinker had finished the tests on the physical evidence that he'd collected at the murder scene.
Looks like the lead pipe.
Can you tell us anything about the killer?
Nothing except his WMA.
How about the other bloodstains, Ray?
Test out type O, victim's type B.
Well, figures that he managed to hit the killer with the axe then, huh?
Possible.
How about the shirt? Did you find anything on it?
We haven't finished the tests on the dust particles we found in the pockets yet. Precipitin test shows it's human blood. Haven't had a chance to group it yet.
How about any laundry markings? Anything there, Ray?
Yeah, just about to check it. Spread it out here. You want to get those lights, Frank?
Yeah, I'll go.
Turn on this fluorescent. Yeah. There's laundry marking here.
Yeah. Looks like RJ.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? And there's a number there, too, isn't there?
769-02.
Anything else, Ray?
Looks like that's about it.
What laundry, would you know?
Yeah, I think so. Marking's the same type as Consolidated Central Laundry uses. It's a big place out on Pico.
Mm-hmm.
Handle cleaning for a lot of small neighborhood places in town. I can give you the address.
Okay, anything else?
Oh, he had a 15 neck and a 33 sleeve.
Average size, not much help, huh?
Maybe I can give you some more when I get through the dust particles in the pockets.
Yeah, okay. Wish we had a little more to go on.
Well, you got a piece of lead pipe, a stained shirt, and an axe that looks like it's been recently used.
Yeah.
They all connect somewhere along the line.
Yeah, all we got to do is find out where. 2:58 p.m. Frank and I drove out to the Consolidated Central Laundry. We talked to the manager, and he looked through the files. He was able to tell us that the shirt had been laundered at a small cleaning place on South Hill. He gave us the address, and Frank and I drove over. We talked to the manager of the shop.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's our number, all right.
Yes, sir. Would it be possible for you to tell us who owns the shirt?
Yeah, I'll look it up in the book. Let's see, RJ 769-02.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Let's see, 642, 98, 7. Yeah, here it is. John Dunlap, address out on 3rd Street. Say, what do you want to know about the shirt for? Dunlap done something?
Oh, we're just conducting an investigation here.
Oh.
I wonder if you'd describe this Dunlap for us.
Oh, sure. I've known John for years. Been bringing his things in here for at least 8, maybe 9 years.
Could you give us a description of him, you think?
Yeah, Johnny's about my size, maybe 5'11". Weighs about 180.
How about his coloring?
Huh?
His coloring. Is he dark or light complected?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess you'd say maybe sort of medium. Yeah, medium.
Does he have any marks or scars on him? Anything unusual about him?
Well, if you asked me that yesterday, I'd have said no.
How's that?
Well, up till this morning. Well, John came in this morning, and there was nothing that made him stand out up till then. He must have had an accident over the weekend, I guess.
I don't understand.
Came in this morning, his face was all scratched up.
listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
We like to give the facts about Chesterfield so you can be your own judge.
Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to tell you what it's made of. The world's best tobaccos. Kept tasty and fresh by pure and costly moistening agents. The best that money can buy. And Chesterfield cigarette paper is of the highest purity.
Now, Chesterfield is the first cigarette to present this scientific evidence on the effects of smoking.
A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group have smoked Chesterfield for an average of over 10 years. After 8 months, the medical specialist reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. I'd say that means real mildness. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Monday, 5:30 p.m. Frank and I ran the name John Dunlap through R&I. We found no record on anyone answering his description. Meantime, the stakeout on Wallace Holmes' apartment where we'd found the blood-stained shirt continued. Ray Pinker had finished the test on the shirt and found that most of the blood on it was type B. However, there were also small traces of type O. The tests on the dust particles found in the pockets of the shirt netted us nothing. 6:15 p.m. We drove out to the address given us by the cleaning shop. It was a large apartment building. Dunlap was registered in the penthouse. We took the elevator up and rang the bell.
Yeah?
John Dunlap?
That's right. What can I do for you?
Police officers would like to talk to you.
Police? What do you want with me?
Just like to talk to you.
Well, okay, come on in. You can see you caught me in the shower.
This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How do you do?
How do you, sir? How do you?
Hey, mind if I go ahead and get dressed while we talk? I got a date and I don't want to be too late.
No, that's all right. Go right ahead.
Come on in here. What is it I can do for you, officers?
Well, I wonder if you could explain your movements Saturday night.
Saturday night?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's see. I played golf in the morning, got back from the club about 6, I guess. Miserable game, 102, lost $35. Sure was off Saturday.
Just a minute, sir. You tell us what clothes you want. We'll get them for you.
All right, hand me that shirt there, the blue one, huh?
Yeah.
Sure, miserable game Saturday. 3-putted almost every green.
Nice-looking shirts, Dunlap.
Like them?
Well, they're nice-looking. Where do you get them?
I have them made. Can't wear store-made shirts. Neck's too long. Collar doesn't fit right.
What'd you do after you got home from the golf club?
Took a shower, then went out. Had a date. Lousy game ruined the whole evening.
Sir?
Well, after that crummy 102, I really played the 19th hole. Got pretty loaded. By the time I got to Alice's, I was in a rare mood.
Alice?
Yeah, Alice Miller. Anyway, I was about half hour late, and she was fit to be tied. We were supposed to have dinner out in Malibu. Took us about an hour to drive out there, and Alice kept getting mad as we drove. I guess I didn't help things out any. I was in a foul mood and didn't keep it to myself.
Yeah?
Well, by the time we got there, really going at it, silly thing, no sense to the argument at all, but it just kept building. Either one of you married?
Yes, sir. My partner here is.
Well, then he knows what I mean. Well, we didn't get down to the beach till about 8:30 or 9. We got out of the car, and Alice said she wanted me to take her back home. I told her we'd just gotten there. She said she didn't care, wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I told her if she wanted to leave, it was okay with me, and I turned around to walk down to the house. You know, it's pretty dark down there.
Uh-huh.
Well, I walked right over the embankment. Must have fallen over about 6-7 feet. Didn't hurt myself much, but you can see I scratched up my face.
Yeah, we can.
Well, the long one, though, I guess it was worth it.
How's that?
Well, Alice was so scared she ran down to me, and the argument was all over. We went on into the house and had dinner.
How long were you there?
Well, I guess until, maybe 2:30, 3 in the morning. Got to playing charades. Time just went.
You happen to know what blood type you have?
What?
Your blood type. Do you know what it is?
Oh, I think it's A, but I'm not sure, though.
Uh-huh.
You said you had your shirts made to order, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Why?
Can you tell us how someone else might have gotten one of your shirts?
Hey, wait a minute. I don't think I understand just what's going on. Or what is this all about? Come in here and ask a lot of questions. What's it all for?
Just routine.
Routine what? It's not routine for me to have policemen come in and ask a lot of questions. Where was I Saturday night? Who makes my shirts? Who might have had them? Come on, what's the pitch?
All right. You know a man named Mark Williams?
Williams? No, Tom Williams sells insurance.
No, Mark Williams.
No, I don't think I know him, Mark. Anyway, what's he got to do with this?
He was killed Saturday night.
You figure maybe I did?
Well, the shirt that belongs to you was found near the scene.
My shirt?
That's right. Same label. Check the laundry markings in it. Your laundryman said it was your shirt. Said it was your number.
You talked to Harry?
Yeah, that's his name. I guess we did.
Well, I don't understand it. Hey, wait a minute.
Yes, sir?
A couple of weeks ago, I gave a half a dozen shirts to the woman who comes in to clean up the place. She might know what happened. Let me call her and find out. I got her number here someplace. Yeah, here it is. If anybody knows, she would. A couple of weeks ago, told her she could have them. I don't know what's the matter with them. Hello? Mrs. Lambert in, please? Yeah, thank you. Oh, Mrs. Lambert, this is John Dunlap. Oh, just fine. And you? That's good. No, I just want to know what you did with those shirts you took a couple of weeks ago. Well, no, Mrs. Lambert, I did give them to you. I just want to know what you did with them. Uh-huh. I see. Well, can you give me the address? Well, just a minute. I'll get a pencil. Do you have a pencil, officer?
Here you are.
Thank you. Now, go ahead, Mrs. Lambert. Uh-huh. 47? All right, thank you. No, don't you worry. Everything's all right. Yeah, well, thank you, Mrs. Lambert. Yeah, I'll see you then. Right, goodbye. A real character. Thought I wanted the shirts back.
Did she tell you what she did with them?
Yeah, said she sold them to a second-hand store down on Bixel.
7:20 p.m. We drove over to talk to the cleaning woman. She gave us the same story that we'd gotten from John Dunlap. We went over to the second-hand store, but it was closed. The stakeout on the apartment continued. The body had been posted, and the coroner told us that Williams had been killed at approximately midnight on Saturday night. That would allow 2 hours on either side, making it possible for the murder to take place between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Frank and I checked out of the office and went home. The following morning, Tuesday, July 6th at 8:17 p.m., we checked the second-hand store where the shirts had been sold. The dealer told us that he remembered the shirts. He said that he'd bought 5 of them and had only sold 1. He was able to give us a fair description of the man he'd sold the shirt to. He went on to say that he'd heard that the man was a user of narcotics. We ran the name he gave us, Fred Harris, through R&I. He had a record of violation of the State Narcotic Act. We got out an APB and a local bulletin on him. We called Narcotics Division and notified them that we wanted Harris as a suspect. We checked the address listed on his record, but we found that he'd moved and left no forwarding address. 2 days went by. We ran down all leads, but we were able to come up with nothing new. Thursday, July 8th, 8:30 a.m. Frank and I checked back into the squad room. Well, there's another one that didn't go anyplace. Yeah, well, he's got to be someplace. I get it. Homicide Friday. Oh, yeah, Joe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how soon will you be here? All right. Okay, right. Anything? Well, Monica and Hudson, they just picked Harris up. 11:20 a.m. Fred Harris was brought to the interrogation room. Frank and I talked to him for about an hour, but other than his name, he refused to tell us anything. We tried to lead him out. We talked about his family, about sports, food, everything we could think of. None of it worked. Harris remained sullen and uncooperative. 1:46 p.m.
How about some lunch, Joe?
I guess so.
Harris?
No, thanks.
Well, you suit yourself.
What do you want, Joe?
Well, ham on rye, all right. Get some coffee, too, huh?
Okay. You sure, Harris? You don't want anything to eat?
No, I told you.
Okay.
All right if I smoke?
Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you want to talk about it, Harris?
About what?
Why you killed Williams.
Who says I did?
That's the way it looks.
It looks wrong.
Well, you figured for yourself, Harris. When you killed the old man, you weren't very careful. You left a couple of prints around the place.
Yeah?
Shirt you wore, we got that. Found it right where you dropped it. Ran that down, leads right to you. Got the man who sold it to you. Identifies you.
Maybe he's wrong.
No, you know better than that. When they picked you up, you were carrying some of the things you stole from that pawn shop. You can't account for your time on Saturday night.
I told you I didn't do it. I didn't kill the old man. I just don't remember where I was that night. Didn't that happen to you? You go someplace and a couple of days later you can't remember where you were. Doesn't that ever happen to you?
Oh, yeah, once in a while.
Hey, you see? How do you expect me to remember when you sometimes forget?
You a user?
What are you asking that for? You got the record. Look it up yourself.
Roll up your sleeve.
All right.
You're a user. You work for a living?
Yeah, sometimes.
What do you do?
Whatever I can.
When'd you last work?
A couple of weeks ago.
You haven't worked since then, huh?
No.
Where'd you get that stuff they found on you?
I don't know. Must have bought it.
Any idea where?
No.
You bought the stuff and you don't know where. Is that what you want me to believe?
Believe what you want. I don't care.
Well, here's what I believe. You tell me if I'm wrong. I think you went to the old man's pawn shop about closing time on Saturday night. You had a big yen on and no money to make a connection. You tried to rob the old man. He didn't like it, and you killed him. You killed him with that hunk of lead pipe we found, the one with your fingerprints all over it. Then you tried to get the safe open, and you couldn't. So you wiped it clean, grabbed what you could carry, and you ran out of the store. A couple of blocks away, you calmed down and took a look at yourself. You threw that shirt in the ash can, and you went up to Wallace Holmes' apartment to try to make a connection, didn't you?
He tell you all that?
No.
Now, come on, how about it? Holmes tell you that?
Now, look, you're a little mixed up, aren't you? You just answer, you don't ask.
Sure, he told you. You never found out if he did. My big pal, Wallace Holmes. After all I'd done for him. If I had a nickel for every pop I shared with that bum and he cops out on me, blabs everything to you. The one guy I'd have done anything for. Give the guy the shirt off your back, and this is the thanks I get.
Well, what's your big trouble, Harris?
What do you mean?
You ought to hang on to your shirts.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On November 15th, trial was held in Department 86, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, again this year, Chesterfield has asked me to remind you to see your own neighborhood cigarette dealer first about your Christmas shopping problems. Among many wonderful gift ideas, he's featuring the gift of the year, the Chesterfield Christmas carton. Now, to my way of thinking, it's the ideal gift because Chesterfield is the only premium quality cigarette available to you shoppers in both regular and king size. Either way, regular or king size, they're a wonderful smoke and they make fine Christmas gifts. Get them from your dealer. Premium quality Chesterfields.
Richard Harris was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. He was executed in the lethal gas chamber at the State Penitentiary, San Quentin, California. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Vic Rodman, Olin Soule. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Tonight, it's more adventure with Barry Craig, confidential investigator on NBC.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a burglary detail. A string of store burglaries takes place in your city. The thieves work at night. They leave no physical evidence behind. Your job, get them. Thousands are changing to Chesterfield, both regular and king size, because Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both sizes.
That means king-size Chesterfield contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette.
The same fine tobaccos as in regular Chesterfield. There is absolutely no difference, except that king-size Chesterfield is larger, contains so much more of the same tobaccos, it gives more than a fifth longer smoke. Yes, more than a fifth longer smoke from king-size Chesterfield.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em, regular or king size. you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder. Yes, Chesterfield is best for you.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, January 23rd. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Wisdom. My name's Friday. We were on our way out from the office, and it was 10:36 a.m. when we got to the corner of Constance and Westlake. Nichols Dry Goods Store.
Yes? Something I can do for you, gentlemen?
Yes, ma'am. We're police officers.
Oh, yes, about the robbery.
Yes, ma'am. Are you Gladys Nichols?
Yes, I am. I'm the owner. I found out that the safe had been robbed.
I think you mean your safe was burgled, Mrs. Nichols.
What?
Well, your safe, it's a technical term. We refer to it as having been burgled, not robbed.
Burgled. Robbed. They took the money out of it.
Well, you see, ma'am, a lot of people make that same mistake. A safe is burgled and a man is robbed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I came in this morning. I didn't get your name.
I'm sorry. My name's Friday. This is my partner, Frank Smith.
Well, I'm pleased to meet you.
How you doing?
Like I said, I'm Gladys Nichols.
Yes, ma'am. Now, if you just tell us what happened here.
Oh, sure. Well, I came in this morning, 8:30, just like I always do. Been doing the same thing for the past 10 years. 8 years at the old location. Always opened exactly 8:30 on the dot.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Nichols. I took my maiden name when my husband died.
I'm sorry. You go right ahead, please.
Oh, sure. I came in at 8:30 this morning, opened the door, and came on in. Everything looked just like it should have. Hung up my coat, then I rolled up the shade on the front window. After that, I opened the safe, and that's when I knew that I'd been burgled.
That's right, ma'am.
I could tell it right away. Safe was empty, not a bit of money left. Cleaned it right out.
Do you know how much money there was in the safe, Miss Nichols?
Oh, yes. $423.76. I know exactly.
Yes, sir.
Can't understand it either. It should have gone off. Should have worked. Can't understand why it didn't.
What's that, ma'am?
Burglar alarm.
Oh.
Yes, not a peep out of it. Nothing. The man that sold it to me said that if anybody so much as looked at something and thought about stealing it, the alarm would go off. But like I said, not a peep. Oh, I wonder if you'd excuse me for a minute. There's Mrs. Johnson, old customer.
Yes, ma'am.
It won't take a minute.
You, ma'am.
Good morning, Vera.
Morning, Gladys.
I want a pattern and some material.
All right. What pattern do you want?
Oh, I was over to the Pomquits the other night. Barbara made some of the cutest pillows I ever saw. Looked like pieces of fruit. You know, watermelon, strawberry.
Oh, yeah, I know the ones you mean.
She said she saw them in a magazine. Sent for the pattern, but I thought if anybody had had it, you'd be the one. Have you?
Sure. It's new. I just got it in a couple of days ago. I guess you heard about my being burgled.
No. Really?
Sure, last night. Those two gentlemen back there from the police come in to talk to me about it.
And you were really robbed?
Burgled, dear. A safe is burgled. A man is robbed.
Oh.
Now, is this the pattern you want?
Yes, that's the one. See there? I want to make the slice of watermelon and the strawberry. Think they look real nice on the bench in the parlor.
Oh, yes. Yes, they sure would.
Faye saw those things. Said she wanted to make some. You see them, Joe?
No, I never have.
They're real nice. Probably not too comfortable, but they sure look pretty.
How much material do I need for just the two?
Well, I'm not sure. Have to look at the pattern. You want just the melon slice and the strawberry, that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, for the melon, you need, let's see. You want it out of cloth or plastic?
What?
Cloth or plastic. You can make them out of either.
Cloth, I think. Yeah.
Faye's going to use plastic. It's better for the kids.
Yeah.
You'll need 3/4 of a yard of red and a 1/4 yard of green felt for the hull and stem. That's for the strawberry. And then for the melon, you'll need a 1/2 yard of white, a 1/2 yard of pink, and a 1/2 yard of green.
All right.
Now, how about embroidery cotton? You'll need 4 skeins of 6-strand black.
I have plenty of that.
Well, I'll measure it out for you. Sure had some excitement around here this morning. All those policemen running around looking for fingerprints and clues. It was real excitement.
Mm-hmm. They caught the man yet?
No, that's what those 2 men are here for now. Want to ask them some questions.
Certainly don't look like policemen.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, you know, they don't look anything like they do in the movies.
Never do. Now, you'll need some muslin for this, too. You want to get it now?
No, I'll pick it up later. Got to get some batting, too. All right.
That's the stuff that gives Faye trouble.
What?
Batting. You know, the stuff you put inside the pillows. Faye always has trouble with it. Stuff always creeps down to one end of the pillow. You got one real fat end, and the other one just hasn't got anything in it. It's kind of uncomfortable when you sit on it.
Yeah.
Just put that on the bill, will you, Gladys?
Oh, you betcha.
Sure hope you get the burglary all straightened out.
Oh, I know they will. Thanks for coming in. Now then, I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
That's all right, ma'am. About that burglar alarm.
Yes?
Well, about the switch. Are you sure you turned it on when you left the shop?
Sure, you just bet I did. I always do. Right after I pull the shade down, I always switch on the system. It's supposed to ring when anybody tries to get into the place. Didn't work this time, not even a peep.
Well, now, you say this time. Do you mean that something like this happened before?
Oh, no, just a figure of speech. No, never been anything like this before.
I see.
Did you notice anything disturbed in the place when you came in? Anything that made you think something might be wrong?
No, not a thing. Came in, rolled up the shade, and then opened the safe. That's the first I knew about it. Somebody opened it up. Must have known the combination. Just opened it up and took the money.
Well, does anyone else have a key to your front door here? Anyone besides yourself, I mean?
Well, there's Alan.
Alan?
Yes, Alan Hoffman. He comes in, straightens up for me. He's a decorator. Or at least he's trying to be one. He likes to come in and putter with the material. He works in some sort of store during the day, and then he comes in here in the evenings and works with the material. You know, tries out different things.
Yes, ma'am. Does he have the combination to your safe?
Oh, no. I'm the only one who has that.
Do you know if he was in here last night?
No, I don't. But I know that Alan wouldn't do a thing like this. I'm sure of that.
How is it you let this Alan have a key to the place, ma'am? Let him have the run of the place when you're not here?
Oh, well, I've known Alan for a long time. I knew his mother. We've always been good friends. Once in a while, he gets a commission to a house, and he always gets the material he needs from me. Well, he's awfully nice. You'd like him.
Yes, ma'am. You know where we can get in touch with this Mr. Hoffman?
Sure, I can give you his address. Lives over on 9th. Got a real cute place. All modern and all. He does those mobiles. You know those things made out of wire and plastic, hangs from the ceiling? Just hang there and go round and around. It's a new art form.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand them myself, but I guess there are a lot of people who do.
Yeah. Are you insured against theft, ma'am?
I beg your pardon?
Do you have any insurance against theft?
Sure, I have insurance. By golly, that's the first time I thought about it. I always thought that it was kind of a waste of money. Sure glad I have it now. This whole thing won't cost me a cent.
Well, now, outside of this Hoffman, do you hire anyone else in the store here?
No, well, I don't pay Alan anything. He just comes in and putters. But there's no need for anyone else in the store. I have a man come in once in a while to wash the front windows, but no one steady.
Has there been anyone around regularly? Anyone who'd be in a position to learn the combination of the safe, ma'am? Find out where the switch to the burglar alarm is?
No. No, not that I can think of. Of course, most of my customers are pretty regular, come in all the time, but I'm pretty sure that none of them would do a thing like this.
What if you could give us a list of the people who come in regularly, Miss Nichols?
Sure, I can. But I don't want you to go around bothering them, asking a lot of questions, causing embarrassment. I just won't have it. Money just isn't that important. It doesn't make that much difference, especially since I'm insured.
Well, we won't embarrass anyone. It's just that we'd like to have the list if we could.
Oh, well, all right.
What time did you close the store last night, Miss Nichols?
6:10. Same as always.
Did you lock the store yourself?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you notice anyone loitering around outside? Anyone who might have looked a little unusual, like they were waiting for you to leave?
No, I don't think so. If there was anyone, I didn't notice them.
Did you leave any sort of a light burning in the place?
I beg your pardon?
Well, a night light. Do you leave one burning when you close up?
Sure. That lamp on the counter, old coffee grinder. I leave that on. Has a 150-watt bulb. Throws a lot of light. Of course, you can't see anything from the street when I close up. Just a lot of shadows.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I pull the shade down when I leave. Once I had some material fade that was in the window. Since then, I pull the shade down. When it's down, you can't see inside in the street at all.
Uh-huh.
Say, if you don't mind, I'd like to make a phone call.
Of course, ma'am.
I want to call those people and tell them what I think of them. If they're going to have to make good on that guarantee.
Who's that, ma'am?
Burglar alarm people. Thing didn't work at all. Not even a peep.
11:18 a.m. Frank and I checked by the crime lab to see if they'd been able to come up with any physical evidence from the scene of the burglary. As in the previous cases, there was nothing to work on. For the past month, a series of burglaries had been taking place in the same one-block area. The M.O. in every instance was the same. Somehow, the doors to the shops were being unlocked, the safes rifled, and then closed up again. In those stores where there wasn't a safe, merchandise was stolen. In all of the burglaries, whoever was responsible for them got away without leaving a trace of physical evidence behind. Store employees were interrogated. Owners were questioned. None of them could give us any leads. The M.O. had been run through the stats office, but they couldn't help us. Stakeouts had been placed on the stores. Extra men were sent out from Metro Division to patrol the streets. The men saw nothing, but the burglaries continued. The thief or thieves seemed to know just what stores were under surveillance and seemed to keep clear of them. Wednesday, 12:14 p.m. We ran the name Alan Hoffman through R&I, but we got no make. Frank and I drove out to his home address on 9th Street. He met us at the door and asked us in.
I'm doing some work back here. Mind if I go on with it?
No, sir. You go right ahead.
Right back here, sun porch. I got a commission to do a place I'm working on some mobiles for.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I think I'll call it Doves at Sunrise. Sit down. Any place.
Yeah, thanks. Just a couple of questions we'd like to ask you, Hoffman.
Sure, what about?
Were you in Miss Nichols' shop last night?
Oh, no, why?
Can you tell us where you were last night?
Yeah, I think so. I went to an exhibition in Mobile, a place down on Pico. A friend of mine had a one-man show. Great ideas. Bad color, but great idea.
You prove you were there?
Well, sure, if I have to. What's this all about, anyway?
I understand you have a key to the shop. Is that right?
Yeah, Gladys gave it to me. I go down there and check the material, get ideas for decorating.
Where do you work, Mr. Hoffman?
Right now in a store out on Beverly, antique shop. I want to go in business for myself, interior decoration. I've been working for it a long time. A couple of more good commissions, I'll be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Do you work at night down there very often?
You mean at Gladys's?
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe a couple of times a week.
What time do you usually get there?
It depends on what I'm doing before. Usually I have dinner, then go by. Well, what's this all about, anyway? Something wrong?
Well, you probably know that there have been several burglaries down in that area lately.
Yeah, I heard about them. You figure I had something to do with them? Is that it?
Well, we're trying to find out who's responsible for them.
No, it isn't me.
You ever notice anyone around the place when you were there at night?
No, not that I remember. Hand me that piece of balsa, will you?
Miss Wood here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here you are.
Thanks. No, I've never noticed anyone around there.
What time do you finish up at the shop there?
Sometimes as late as 2, maybe 3 in the morning.
Uh-huh. Miss Nichols tell you where the burglar alarm switch is?
Sure, I know. Couldn't move around the place without knowing about it. Have half the police force there if that thing ever went off.
You got any idea as to how that safe could be opened by someone other than Miss Nichols?
No, she's so touchy about that safe. She never let anyone get near her when she's opening. Even after she finishes the combination, she twirls the dial so you can't tell what number she stopped on.
You've looked, have you?
No. I don't like what you're trying to say.
Well, we're not trying to say anything, Hoffman.
Well, you imply that I might try to knock over that safe.
No, we didn't say that.
You said the same thing, asking me if I'd try to see the combination.
Well, now, just take it easy, Hoffman. If you haven't done anything, you got nothing to be afraid of.
I've got nothing to be afraid of. I just don't like your remarks, that's all.
You ever been arrested? I say, you ever been arrested?
Oh, no. A couple of tickets for running red lights, that's all.
And give us the address of the place where you were last night?
Yeah, I suppose so. You guys really think I had something to do with this, huh?
We got to check everybody out, Hoffman. You came up on the list.
Well, that's all it is, huh?
That's all it is.
Well, I'll give you the address. You can check there. I'll tell you, I was there till about 3:30 this morning, and then I went out to get something to eat. I came home about 5 this morning. Went right to bed.
Anybody see you come in?
No, I don't think so. You guys figure it might be an inside job, these burglaries?
Looks like it might be, yeah.
Well, that's the way I've got it figured. From what Gladys tells me, it's almost got to be.
That right?
Sure. Well, hand me that piece of red plastic, will you?
The what?
A piece of red plastic.
The chair?
Yeah, that one. Oh.
There you are.
Thanks. Oh, sure, it's got to be somebody who knows all about the stores. You know, when to hit the safes, when not to. Where they walk into the places, no marks on the doors, nothing broken.
You seem to know quite a bit about the burglaries.
Well, I heard about them, talked to Gladys. Looks like an inside job to me. Say, officer.
Yeah?
Would you hand me one of those swivels there in the box?
Where? Here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Now, clip it on here and hang this thing.
You just hang it up like that?
Yeah. Uh-huh. There, finished. Balance is good. Good movement. Yeah. Doves at sunrise.
That all it does, just hang there?
Yeah. What do you think of it? Of course, it isn't as good as war recumbent, but it gets a feeling across, don't you think?
Yeah. Sure does. Doves at sunrise, huh?
Yeah. Doves at sunrise.
How about that?
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
Joe?
Hoffman.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You get it?
Who?
What? Doves at sunrise.
Sergeant Friday.
Yeah.
It's your office.
Oh, thanks, Hoffman. Hello. Oh, yeah, Captain. Mm-hmm. No, we're here now. Yeah. Oh, well, he seems to. Yeah, who? All right, we'll be right in. Right, we got a call to make. What? Over on Pico? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, right after that. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Wisdom?
Yeah, he wants to see us.
Yeah?
We'll probably want to talk to you later, Mr. Hoffman. We can reach you at this number, is that right?
Yeah, either here or at the shop. If I'm not at either, Gladys knows where I am.
All right, I wonder if you could give us the address and the phone number of the place where you were last night.
Sure. Yeah. I've got a piece of paper here someplace. You never can find anything when you want it. Yeah. Oh, here we go. You got to go out there, huh? You can't take my word for it.
That isn't the point, Mr. Hoffman. We can't take anybody's word for it. If we don't know it, we got to check it out, see?
Suppose so. Oh, here you are. Ask for Rudy. He's the one who had the exhibition. He'll tell you.
Rudy, is that it?
Yes, that's right. I was with him all evening. He'll tell you.
Okay, thanks, Hoffman.
Oh, say,
Yeah?
I wonder if you could leave me your card and phone number.
Yeah, sure. Here you are.
Thank you. I'd like to give you a call.
Sir?
I'm holding my own show of mobiles. I'd like to have you two guys there.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You bet. I'll be calling you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. What'd the captain want?
Oh, he's raising the roof. Says he just got a call from the corner pocket. They're leaning all over him.
Yeah?
Says he's tired of answering questions. Says we better come up with some of the answers for him. 12:58 a.m. Frank and I drove over to check on Alan Hoffman's alibi. We talked to Rudy Nixon. He told us that Hoffman had been with him until around 4:30 that morning. At that time, Nixon had dropped Hoffman off at his apartment. We drove back to the office and ran the name Rudy Nixon through R&I, but we got no make on anyone answering his description. 5:45 p.m. Frank and I reported for stakeout duty. The night went slow and we came up with nothing. The next morning at 8:16 a.m., we checked back into the office. You know, as soon as we get this thing over with, I'm going to sleep a week.
Oh, man, you got company. I'm going to tell Faye to send the kids out of town. If anybody calls me, tell them I just left for Hindustan by fast freight.
Well, how'd it go?
Nothing, Skipper. Sat there all night, not a thing.
How about the other guys? Anything from them, Skipper?
No, I just checked with Metro. None of their cars saw anything. The other men out there came in with the same. I'll get it. Burglary wisdom. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Well, what time was it? Right, we'll send a couple of men right out. Here's the address. They hit again.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Chesterfield is best for you. But let us give you the facts, and then you be your own judge.
Chesterfield is the first cigarette to present this scientific evidence on the effects of smoking.
A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group have smoked Chesterfield for an average of 10 years. After 8 months, the medical specialist reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. I'd say that means real mildness.
And Chesterfield is the first and only premium quality cigarette available in both regular and king size.
So buy 'em either way you like 'em, regular or king size. You'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder. Yes, Chesterfield is best for you.
Thursday, January 24th, 8:52 a.m. Frank and I drove out to see the latest victim of the burglars. The crew from the crime lab arrived and went over the place. The M.O. was exactly the same as in the previous thefts. The front door had been unlocked, the safe had been opened, the contents taken, and then the safe closed. There was no physical evidence. However, on one point, the thief had varied his method of operation. The latest victim was the owner of a radio and television store. A check of his stock showed us that an expensive record player and a large stock of records were missing. We checked Metro Division, but they told us that none of their cars had reported seeing anyone on the streets carrying anything that fitted the description of the missing merchandise. The serial number of the set was given to us, and a local and an APB was gotten out on it. We talked to Lieutenant Stevens at Metro, and he agreed to double the number of cars cruising in the area that night. 3 more teams of men from burglary were assigned to the stakeout detail. 6:02 p.m. Frank and I checked in for duty. Nothing happened. 2 days passed. Still no new leads. All employees of the stores that were victimized were checked and rechecked. Nothing. Saturday, January 26th. Frank and I were assigned to a toy shop in the middle of the block. We waited. 8 p.m., 9, 10:30 p.m. Nothing.
Oh, boy, I'm stiff.
Yeah.
Joe?
Mm-hmm.
What time you got?
10:46.
I sure wish I could have a smoke.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to show. What do you think?
I don't know. Been a long time.
11 o'clock. We waited. From time to time, we could see the lights of the undercover car go by the front entrance. Midnight. 12:30. Still nothing.
Joe? Want a piece of this candy bar?
No, I'm not hungry.
All right. Sure you don't want some?
No. I don't know. We've been in every store in this block. Past months, I don't think the guy's going to show.
Yeah. This car's stale?
Wait a minute. What's that?
Somebody's moving something.
Sounds like a ventilator, doesn't it?
Hey.
Wait a minute, hold it. Yeah, look, see the ventilator on the far wall?
Where? Is it moving?
Yeah, somebody's coming out of there, see? Going for the burglar alarm. See, look at that.
What'd he do?
Snapped off the burglar alarm.
Oh.
He's at the safe.
Yeah.
He's got it open. Come on, let's take him. All right, mister, hold it right there.
Watch it, Joe. He's going for the ventilator.
See him? Come on. You see him? No. He's up in there somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, come on out of there, mister. See him? No, I think so. Come on out of there, you!
There he is, Joe. Gun flash.
Yeah, I see him. All right, come on, mister. Throw that gun out here.
Get out of here, cop. You come back here, I'll kill you.
You got no place to go up there. Now, come on, give it up.
I'm telling you, you come back here, I'll kill you. I will. I'm warning you, I'll kill you. Wait a minute. Wait. Don't shoot anymore. Please, don't shoot anymore, please. I quit, please.
All right, throw that gun out here. Come on.
All right. Here it is. There it is. You got it. Now, don't shoot anymore, huh?
All right, come on out of there. Come on out of there.
What do you think?
You gonna come out of there? All right, you'll have to go in after him. Come on, easy.
It's smoky in here.
It's kind of a tight squeeze in it. Certainly, too. Looks like he's got some kind of a room up there. Can you see? Okay, here we are.
Hey, look at this.
He's got himself a room.
Yeah.
Dug it right out of the earth here. All right, come on. Come out from behind that crate.
All right.
Get your hands behind your head.
I'm doing like you say. See, I got my hands just like you said. I quit.
All right, you want to shake him down?
Yeah. Come on.
Stand still.
Put your hands against the wall.
Yeah, he's clean, Joe. Now, what is all this in here?
Where I live.
All right, we'll take a look.
How about this, Joe? This room must be 20 feet square.
Mm-hmm. This all the stuff you stolen?
Yeah, most of it.
What's your name?
Warwick? Dan Warwick. Really had you guys going, didn't it?
All right, let's go.
Really had you. Couldn't figure it out. I used to watch you sit in the bench and watch you. Used to laugh how hard you were trying. Really had you going. Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, sure. Come on, now let's go.
Really had you going. You never would have found me. Could have stayed here for years. Dug this room myself, every bit of it, all by myself. Stayed here when you guys were around, except when I watched you and the others. Couldn't figure out how I knew about the safes. Used to just sit there and watch them. Watch them open the things. Simple once you know how. Really had you going, all right.
You bet you did.
Running around in circles. Real fun.
Yeah, well, we knew where we were going.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On May 17th, trial was held in Department 89, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, it's getting a little closer to Christmas, and there's a man right near you, your neighborhood cigarette dealer, who has a lot of fine gift ideas. Of course, he's featuring the gift of the year, the Chesterfield Christmas carton. It's the ideal gift because Chesterfield is the only premium quality cigarette available to you in both regular and king size. Chesterfield is the one I smoke, and it's the one I'm giving for Christmas. Regular or king size. Premium quality Chesterfields are much milder.
Daniel Robert Warwick was tried and convicted of burglary in the first degree, 5 counts. Said counts to run consecutively. He received his sentence as prescribed by law. Burglary in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 5 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 7 years of bigger and bigger enrollments, America's grade schools will need nearly 250,000 extra teachers, besides those to fill normal vacancies. Education holds America's future, perhaps your future.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Gwen Delano, Paul Richards. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Tonight, more adventure with Barry Craig, confidential investigator, on NBC.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. You receive information that a big buy of heroin is going to be made in your city. You know the location and the man who's going to sell it. Your job? Stop him. Thousands are changing to Chesterfield, both regular and king size, because only Chesterfield has premium quality in both sizes.
That means king-size Chesterfield contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette.
The same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield. There is absolutely no difference, except that king-size Chesterfield is larger, contains so much more of the same tobaccos, it gives more than a fifth longer smoke. Yes, more than a fifth longer smoke from king-size Chesterfield.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em, regular or king size. You'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder. Yes, Chesterfield is best for you.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, You will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, April 8th. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of narcotics detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Kearney. My name's Friday. We were on our way to the meet, and it was 9:48 p.m. when we got to the corner of Pico and Clanton, the 617 Club.
Let's sit back there, huh?
Yeah, it looks all right.
What time you got, Joe?
9:49, why?
Well, this watch is giving me trouble.
Yeah?
I guess it's getting old.
You had it clean lately? Maybe that's what it needs.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Ran real good right after that. Just been lately, like I said.
I think maybe you ought to have it cleaned again. I was reading where they should be cleaned at least once a year. Did you know that?
No, this is getting old, Joe. Had it for almost 23 years. Got it when I graduated from high school.
Sure looks like it's still good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
Coffee for me, Frank.
Yeah, please.
2 coffees, by the way.
I didn't see him when we came in, did you?
No, we're early. Meet's not supposed to be until 10:30.
What's that?
I don't know.
Drink your coffee. Knock it off. Well, first thing you know, you're going to have everybody in the place looking at us.
I don't care. Let him look. I never wanted to do it. I never did.
Yeah, okay, you did it. Now, nothing you can do about it. Stop falling.
Hey, what's going on in the next booth? I don't know. I can't see.
Easy for you to say you didn't do it.
You going to stop falling? You bring a lot of attention over here with Vulcan this
I
time.
can't help it. Everybody I see, I think it's a cop. A cop who knows all about it.
But cheap who's it done? And every time you get a couple of bells and you start to fall, knock it off, huh?
Knock it off. Knock it off. If I had to do it over again, it would have been different. I tell you, it would have been different.
What do you think, Joe? Oh, it sounds like they had too much to drink. I hope they get out of here. I don't want anything to louse up our body here.
Come on, let's
Sure,
go.
you can be big man. You got no worries.
Come on, let's go.
You didn't kill the old lady.
Not so loud.
You didn't kill her.
Because of the high booth walls, we were unable to tell who was doing the talking. As soon as the men got up to leave the place, Frank and I followed them. Frank stopped long enough to call our contact and postpone the narcotics buy. We followed the 2 men from the bar down the street. They walked up to Spring, and then they split up. Frank followed one of them. I tailed the other. He went directly to a hotel on West 6th Street. He stopped and talked with the hotel clerk, and then he took the elevator upstairs. I checked with the clerk, and he told me that the man's name was Sam Allison. Clerk also told me that Allison had been a resident of the hotel off and on for the past 10 years. He went on to say that every so often Allison would pack up and leave, but that he'd always return. He was unable to give me any information as to how Allison made his living or who the other man might be. 12:10 a.m. I called the office. Frank had checked back in. The man he was following had entered an all-night movie, and in the darkness, Frank somehow had lost him. I went back to the office, and we sent a radiogram to Inspector Charlie Sutton up in San Francisco, requesting all information on unsolved murders in the Bay Area in the last few months. We ran the name Sam Allison through R&I, but we got no make on anyone answering his description. 2:15 a.m. We checked out of the office and went home to get some sleep. The following morning, Wednesday, April 9th, 7:58 a.m., I checked back into the office.
That you, Joe?
Yeah.
The message in the book to call Operator 18 in San Francisco.
Would you put the call in?
No, I just got in. Figured I'd wait a minute for you to get here.
All right, let's take care of it now. Now, Operator 18, San Francisco, please. Joe Friday, Los Angeles Police Department, Michigan, 5211. Yeah, that's right. Probably Charlie Sutton, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am? Oh, Charlie? Joe Friday. Yeah. Uh-huh. When? January 15th, huh? So how'd it happen? Uh-huh. Yeah. Can you talk a little louder, Charlie? Any description? Yeah, I see. Mm-hmm. Where? You sent it right down to us, huh? Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, Charlie. No, we don't know. No. Yeah, thanks again. Right, bye.
Anything?
Yeah, out at Land's End up in San Francisco. Woman was beaten to death. The San Francisco Police Department said that they'd forward all available information on the killing. From what Inspector Charlie Sutton had said, the victim had been robbed and beaten out in the Land's End area. There had been one witness to the murder, and we told the authorities in the Bay City that we would send them stand-up mugs of our suspect, Sam Allison. 9:37 a.m. Frank and I drove over to the hotel on West 6th. We talked to the desk clerk, and then we went upstairs to Allison's room.
This must be at 3:05.
Yeah.
I'll try it again.
Yeah? Who is it?
Police officers, we'd like to talk to you.
Just a minute. Yeah?
You Sam Allison?
Yeah, that's right. What's the bit?
I'd like to talk to you.
What about?
Might be better if we talked inside.
All right, come on in. Well, what's this all about?
Want to get dressed? I'd like to talk to you downtown.
What for? You got nothing on me.
Just like to talk to you. Come on, get dressed.
Oh, wait a minute. Look, you tell me what it's all about first, huh?
You've been up in San Francisco lately?
Why?
Have you?
Yeah, so what?
When?
I don't know. First of the year, I guess. Around there.
You narrow that down a little?
First part of January, I guess.
Where were you last night?
Around.
Where around?
Met a friend, had a couple of drinks, and came home just around.
Who's the friend?
Hey, look, I'm not going to answer any more of your questions until I know what this is all about.
Where are your clothes?
In the closet.
I'll get them.
We're getting real big, aren't we?
You tell us what you want, I'll get them.
That pinstripe. You know, the gray one right in front of you. You know, pinstripe?
That's it?
Yeah. Oh, in that bureau, second drawer, there's some shirts there. Give me one of the blue ones, will you? One with the tab collar and the little round things on it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Hey, when you guys figure out, let me know what this is all about.
What do you do for a living, Allison?
Oh, this and that.
All right, what's that mean?
I work with horses.
You a trainer, that it?
No, not exactly.
A tout?
No. Say, in that top drawer, there's a little velvet box. You got a collar bar in there. Would you get it for me, huh?
Here?
Yeah.
This the box?
That's right. The gold one.
Yeah. And what you want?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I got my shoes.
Wait a minute. Which ones do you want?
The black ones. It's the only pair.
Who were you drinking with last night, Allison?
Oh, like I told you, a friend.
What's his name?
Look, I told you I wasn't going to say anything like find out what this is all about.
All right, Allison, I'm going to lay this out for you. We were in a bar last night, place down in Clanton. You there?
Clanton? Oh, you mean the 617 Club?
That's right.
Yeah, I was there. So what?
We were in the booth next to you. Heard you talk about killing a woman in San Francisco.
You're wrong about that.
Yeah, sure we are. Let's go downtown.
No, I mean it. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, sure, I was in the bar last night, but I don't know anything about killing an old broad up north.
Who said she was old?
Well, you just did.
No, he didn't. Said a woman had been killed. He didn't say anything about her age.
Well, from the way you said it, I figured she was old.
No, that won't work, Allison.
Look, you got no reason to think that I did that. No, you got no reason to think that.
You admit you were up north about the time it happened. You were in a bar last night talking about it. Now, you seem to know quite a bit about the whole thing for somebody who wasn't involved.
Well, maybe I just heard about it, you know.
Where'd you hear about it?
Well, around. Well, I don't know where, but I heard about it. Maybe that's what happened. But you guys know it wasn't me. You know that, don't you?
Who were you with last night?
He the one that did it? Is that it?
I don't know. I don't know if he did it or not. I don't know anything about it. All I know is I wasn't mixed up in it. I didn't have anything to do with it.
Who's Jack Kenton?
Kenton? I don't know any Kenton.
Well, he knows you according to this postcard in your drawer over here.
Oh, that right?
Yeah, that's right. Sam, I'll be in town Monday night. Meet you at your hotel. It's signed Jack. There's a return address here, San Diego. Now, who is he?
Oh, yeah, Kenton. I forgot for a minute.
Well, maybe you forgot that he was with you in that bar last night, too, huh?
Well, what happens to me if I do remember? You going to find out?
I don't think so.
Was he the man you were with last night?
I don't want him to find out. I got big trouble if he does.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's the guy, but don't tell him I said so, will you? You won't tell him, huh? Oh, Jack would come after me if he knew. He's really off his rocker.
He is, huh?
Yeah, and he'd kill me if he knew. You guys are going to have trouble taking him, you know that, huh?
We are, huh?
Yeah, he's fallen a couple of times before, done big time up at Q. Told me 100 times before. At least 100 times.
Yeah, what's that?
He killed the first cop that came after him.
11:17 a.m. Frank and I took Sam Allison down to the city hall. He was fingerprinted and mug shots were taken. A pair of stand-up mugs were sent to San Francisco immediately. We contacted the San Diego Police Department and asked them to put a stake out on the address that was on the postcard we found in Allison's room. In the event this Jack Kenton returned, they were to pick him up and call us. While we talked to them, they ran the name through their files and found that he had a minor record in San Diego dating back some 15 years. A check of our file showed that he'd served time in San Quentin for armed robbery and ADW while trying to commit a robbery. We got out a local and an APB on him. We talked to Allison. He told us that as far as he knew, Kenton was planning to return to San Diego on the preceding night. He couldn't give us any information as to where Kenton had stayed while he was in Los Angeles. 2 p.m. We got a call from San Diego that they'd picked up Jack Kenton. 2:30 p.m. Frank and I checked out a trip car and left for San Diego. We checked in with Lieutenant Mort Gear when we got there, and he told us that Kenton had been seen returning to his home right after we'd contacted them. We drove out to his place and searched it, but we found nothing to tie him in with a murder in San Francisco. 8:30 p.m. We left San Diego and returned to Los Angeles. On the return trip, Kenton was sullen and refused to answer any questions. We took him to the city hall. 1:15 a.m.
Oh, lousy deal. You guys are trying to tie a bum rap on me, and you know it.
Do we?
Sure.
You ever do any big time, Kenton?
No.
Ever been in jail, huh?
Nope.
That's not what our record says.
Well, maybe a couple of tickets for traffic stuff.
Book says you served time at Q. How about that?
A couple of years, yeah.
Don't you figure that is big time?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Then why didn't you tell us about it?
Forgot.
You been in San Francisco lately?
Oh.
You sure?
I'm sure.
We got a rumble that you were up there around the first of the year.
That right?
Yeah.
Well, you tell your pigeon that he's not even a fruitcake if he says I was up in Frisco.
A couple other people will say you're up there, too.
Yeah, who?
A couple of people.
Well, they're off for a nut, too, if they say that.
The officers say so, too.
How do they figure that?
They got an ident on your picture.
I was never picked up in Frisco. They got no picture of me.
We got a few.
So I done time out L.A.
Yeah, you did. When we get a mug, we ship a copy up north. They do the same.
That right?
That's right.
So maybe I'll be big about all this. Admit I was in Frisco around the first of the year. What's that prove?
What'd you do while you were up there?
Moved around. Went up for vacation.
What do you do for a living?
A little of everything.
What's that include?
Like I said, a little of everything.
Mm-hmm. What'd you tell the parole board?
I tell them I'm a contractor.
What do you build?
Whatever needs building. I'm versatile.
You're pretty smart, too, aren't you?
Look, I know my rights. I know that you know that I'm an ex-con. You know it as well as I do. But there ain't no PV tab on my card. I don't go around the corner without telling the board. You got nothing on me for that.
They know you in San Francisco?
Yeah, like I said, it was for a vacation.
Where'd you live up there?
Around. Hotel down on Geary.
How long were you there?
Maybe 3 weeks, month. Got a cigarette?
Yeah. Here.
Thanks. Thanks. What's this all about, anyway? What's the pitch with was I in Frisco?
You remember where you were last night?
Yeah, I was up here. I came up to see a friend.
Who's the friend?
I don't remember.
Where'd you see this friend?
Bar. Had a couple of drinks, and I went to a movie.
What bar?
I don't remember. Someplace downtown.
Over on Clanton, maybe?
Yeah, it could be. Like I said, I don't remember.
We figure it was the 617 Club on Clanton.
You know more than I do.
You were there with Sam Allison, isn't that right?
Allison? Don't think I know anybody by that name.
He says he knows you.
Allison? No, I don't think I know anybody.
All right, now let's come off it, Kenton. We know you were there. We were in the booth right next to you. We heard you talk about killing the woman in San Francisco. We heard every word you said.
Well, you must have been listening to somebody else. You got the wrong pitch all the way around. I wasn't there last night. I don't know any Sam Allison. I didn't kill anyone in San Francisco or any place else.
Bartender down there says he knows you. Says you were in the place last night. We saw you there ourselves.
You know, you guys ought to lay off that cheap booze. It's beginning to hit your eyes.
We got another witness who says you were there. He's willing to swear to it.
All right, so maybe I was. What's that proof?
Why'd you lie about it?
I didn't lie. I just forgot.
Maybe you forgot about San Francisco, too. Is that it?
No, I didn't forget about it.
You said you spent your time up north in the bar. Which bar?
Cookies.
Where's that?
On Kearney.
You got any way to prove you were there? This Cookies?
Sure. Talk to Cookie himself. He'll tell you.
What's his last name?
I don't know.
You spend all this time with him, you don't know his last name.
Cookie, just plain Cookie. That's all you need to know to get a drink.
He ever done any time?
Not Cookie. He'll do almost anything to make a buck as long as he doesn't have to work for it. But he's never fallen that I know about. He's too busy watering the booze he sells.
You ever get down there Fisherman's Wharf up there?
Nope. Never left downtown.
And you couldn't have been down there on January 12th, now could you?
How do I know where I was on the 12th? I said I wasn't near the wharf. That means on the 12th, 13th, 14th, as far as you want to go. I don't know how else to say it. I wasn't down on Fisherman's Wharf. That where this woman got it?
Might have been, yeah. Doesn't make any difference, though. You didn't leave downtown, did you?
No, never left downtown. Geary Street for the hotel, Kearney Street for Cookies, that's all.
How about Land's End? Ever get out there?
Maybe if I write it out, maybe then you'll get what I'm trying to say. I was always downtown. I never left it. I didn't go to Land's End. I didn't go to Fisherman's Wharf. I didn't go to the tea gardens in the park. I never left downtown.
You're sure about that?
I've told you every way I know how. That's all I can do.
Yeah, well, there's something that doesn't jive here, Kenton.
What's that?
We got a call from San Francisco. They got a girl up there who was out on Land's End on January 15th. She says that she'll identify you as the man who killed the woman that night. She says she's positive.
Oh, that's why all this bit about was I someplace on January 12th, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Playing it real cozy, aren't you? Well, it won't work, cop. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm having none of it. Now, you guys go and try to figure some other way. You got nothing on me, nothing, and you know it. Now, if you're tired of playing games, either give me my walking papers or book me. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
The girl will be here in the morning, Kenton.
That's swell. I got to get my sleep then. I want to look real nice for her.
All right. Let's go.
You know, cop, that's one nice thing about the laws in this state.
Yeah?
I don't have to do a thing. Just sit and watch. You got to prove it. Any way you slice it, you got to do the work. I don't have to do a thing.
Yeah, that's right, Kenton. There's only one little difference.
Yeah?
We make you, and you got to do the time.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action. Chesterfield is best for you. Premium quality Chesterfield.
Yes, only Chesterfield has premium quality in both regular and king size.
And only Chesterfield gives you this scientific evidence on the effects of smoking.
A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group, about half of them, have smoked Chesterfield for an average of over 10 years. After 8 months, the medical specialist reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. Those are the facts. I'd say that means real mildness. So buy 'em either way you like 'em, regular or king size. You'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder. Yes, Chesterfield is best for you.
.3:39 a.m. We took Jack Kenton down and had some stand-up mugs made of him and sent to San Francisco. Kenton was booked at the main jail on suspicion of murder. 5:26 a.m. Frank and I checked out of the office and we went home. The next day at 1:30 p.m., we met with Captain Lorman, a homicide division, and talked over the developments with him. Together, we worked out a plan that we thought might work in getting Allison to admit to the murder. 4:15 p.m., we had Kenton brought from his cell in the main jail to the interrogation room at the city hall. We talked to him for 2 hours. He'd admit nothing.
Where's your witness? About time she got here, isn't it?
She'll be here.
We should get this thing over with. I'm getting a little sick of playing ring around the rosy with you boys. Maybe you haven't got anything else to do, but I have.
All right, what's so important, Kenton?
Got a heavy date down in San Diego tonight. This is Friday, isn't it?
That's right.
Real doll. Been trying to date with her for a couple of weeks. Finally made it. You guys think I'll be out of here by 6?
Depends on what the witness says.
How about a cigarette, huh?
Yeah. Here you are.
I got 'em, man. Cops find anything in my house?
What do you mean?
When they went through it. Look, I've been through this before. I know the bit as well as you guys do. Fella falls once, does some time, you cops never leave him alone.
You drink much, Kenton?
You
drink much?
Yeah, I have a highball once in a while. What's the matter? Something wrong with that? You guys going to give me a lecture on the evils of alcohol?
No, just trying to figure out what kind of a guy you are when you're loaded.
Well, I'm a doll. Living doll. Put on lampshades, tell funny stories. Life of the party, that's me.
You ever have a crying jag when you've been drinking?
Nope.
Sure about that?
Yeah.
The way we got it, as soon as you get a couple of belts in you, you start to bawl. Now, how about that?
Whoever told you that's lying?
Seems pretty sure about it, this fella.
You seem to have a lot of information from this fella of yours. Who is the guy?
Friend of ours.
Yeah? He sure isn't a friend of mine. Got an idea who it is. Sounds a lot like my friend Sam.
That's so.
Yeah, old Sam, the working man's friend.
Rumble we got says you were with him the night before last, is that right?
Oh, yeah. This is the night you guys were in the next booth and heard all the stuff about me killing the old broad. What's this bit about a rumble? You know it and I do. You picked up Sam, he talked his mouth out to save his own skin. You guys are about as coy as a bulldozer. Why don't you come off it? You're not working with an amateur. I've been around for a long time. I know the angles. You guys got nothing on me. You got nothing because I'm clean. Just want to be big men. Got nothing else to do, so you decided to kill a little time by leaning on somebody. I happen to be around. I got a record, so I fit your program real pretty. Well, get off my back. I've had it. Now, either book me on suspicion and I'll sue you for every last dime you got, or let me go. I got a date I want to keep.
That's a nice try, Kenton. It won't work.
What do you mean?
All right, I'll lay out a few things for you. A woman was killed in San Francisco on January 15th. You were in town that day. You got a record for robbery and assault. Woman was robbed and then killed. You got blind one night and you talked all about it. You had a real crying jag and you got worried. You talked about how everybody you saw looked like a cop. They all looked like they knew what you'd done and they were moving to nail you for it. You got a real bad case of the bull horrors. We got a friend of yours who says you could have been the guy. We got an identification from a girl who says you killed that old woman. She's on her way down here now. As soon as she sees you and makes it positive, you had it, mister. Now, that's where you sit.
You talk real convincing. Makes it sound like you really got something on me.
We have, Kenton, and you know it. Let's check and see if that girl's here.
Yeah, I will. Got a cigarette?
Yeah, here. Now, what's the matter, Kenton? You figure maybe we aren't giving you a snow job?
No, I know where I stand. I'm just getting a little worried that maybe this girl might make a mistake. It could happen, you know. It's happened before.
Is that right?
Sure, lots of times. You know, somebody watches a thing like this, they aren't sure what they've really seen. Some college back east proved it.
That's so.
Had a deal where one of the students pretended he was going to knock off the teacher. After he'd done it, all the kids gave a different story of what happened. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't do it, then you got nothing to worry about, have you?
No, I suppose not. She says she saw the guy, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Came all the way down here to look at me, huh?
Yep.
You figure she's here yet?
Should be. Her plane landed an hour ago.
Mm-hmm. You say she identified my picture? She said I was the guy?
I didn't hear it. Just come in there.
That's him. That's the man. He killed her. I saw it. I'd never forget him. That's the man.
She's crazy. She's wrong. You know that, don't you? She's wrong.
Let him touch me. The man's a murderer. He killed the old woman. I saw him. Beat her to death. I saw him do it.
All right, lady. Okay, Frank. All right, Miss Carter. You want to step outside?
Oh, yes, please. I want to get away from him. I don't ever want to have to look at him again.
How about it?
I didn't see her. I didn't know anybody was around. I didn't mean to kill the old woman. I didn't. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
She wouldn't give me her purse. I followed her from downtown all the way out on the streetcar. I got out and followed her. Right by Sutro's, by the Cliff House. Then I tried to take the money. She wouldn't give it to me. Only about $30. Why didn't she give it to me? $30, it wasn't worth it to her. For $30. It'd have been all right if that girl hadn't seen. I looked, tried to make sure nobody saw. I didn't see her. I didn't.
You want to stay with him, Frank, while I get the stenographer?
Yeah, Joe, go ahead.
Okay.
Did it work, Sergeant?
Yeah, it worked fine.
Funny, I was scared stiff when I went in. Wasn't sure I could carry it off.
Well, it worked fine. He copped out, admitted everything.
Well, if there's nothing else, I'll go on back to work.
Thanks, Stella. Look, will you tell Cunningham that I'll give him a ring, will you?
Yeah. Say, Sergeant,
Yeah.
thanks for letting me help. You know, filing packages in R&I gets a little dull now and then.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 17th, trial was held in Department 89, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, it's getting a little closer to Christmas, and there's a man right near you, your neighborhood cigarette dealer, who has a lot of fine gift ideas. Of course, he's featuring the gift of the year, the Chesterfield Christmas carton. It's the ideal gift because Chesterfield is the only premium quality cigarette available to you in both regular and king size. Chesterfield is the one I smoke, and it's the one I'm giving for Christmas. Regular or king size. Premium quality Chesterfields are much milder.
Jack Gerald Kenton was tried and found guilty of murder in the first degree. He is now serving a life sentence in the state penitentiary, San Quentin, California.
Ladies and gentlemen, until everyone is safe, no one is safe from tuberculosis. Help save lives by buying all the Christmas seals you can and using Christmas seals on all your Christmas mail.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Virginia Gregg, Harry Bartell. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A small boy is reported missing from his home. His age, 9 years. Foul play is suspected. Your job, find him. Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, December 22nd. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of Homicide Division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Thad Brown, chief detective. My name's Friday. I was on the way into work, and it was 3:55 p.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide. Hi, Joe. Frank, what's doing? Oh, nothing. Pretty quiet. How's your mother? Oh, that cold's still hanging on. Bad cough. Doc says nothing serious, though. My kid's got the same thing. Must be some kind of a virus going around. Yeah, maybe so. You got all the reports on that Webster case yet? Yeah, all taken care of. Good. I get it. Homicide, Friday.
This is Levinson, Unit 11J1. Got something for you.
Yeah, Harry, what's doing?
Doherty and I are out here on Hollis Avenue, 4656, trying to track down a 9-year-old boy.
What's the story?
Kid's missing. Suspicion of foul play.
Yeah? How long has he been gone?
About 2 hours. Looks like a job for homicide.
How do you figure?
The kid was last seen playing in the backyard of his home.
Yeah?
We checked over the yard.
You find anything?
Blood stains, lots of them. They look new.
Frank and I left a message for Chief Detective Thad Brown. Then we went over to the crime lab, picked up Ray Pinker, and drove out the Arroyo Seco Freeway to Hollis Avenue. It was an average neighborhood. Number 4656 was a one-story green stucco residence situated on the corner of Hollis Avenue and Harrison Drive. Beyond the backyard was a tract of undeveloped land, covered with scrub oak. Harry Levinson from Highland Park Juvenile was waiting for us in front of the house. Back this way, fellas. You coming, Ray? Let me get my bag. Who notified you the boy was missing, Harry?
The mother said she went down to do some Christmas shopping about 11 this morning, left the boy home. Came back about 2 this afternoon. He was gone.
What's the name?
Johnstone. The kid's name is Stanley, 9 years old.
Was the gate open like this when you got here?
Yeah, we haven't touched the thing. Hey, the stains over here, Mr. Pinker, along the edge of the walk there, you see?
Yeah, let me see. Quite a few stains.
Looks like it might be blood. Try some benzidine on him. There we are. See what happened. Where's the kid's mother now, Harry? She's in the house. Doherty's talking to her. You talked to any of the neighbors? Yeah, the people next door, the ones on this side. They couldn't tell us anything. There it is, fellas. Yeah, Rick? These spots I covered with benzidine, they're turning blue. Blood stains, all right. Can't say definitely whether it's human or animal. You have to go back to the lab and run it through? Yeah. Biological precipitin test. Any one of those glass vials in the bag, will you? One of these? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks. Scrape some of these flakes off the test. There we are. How soon can you pipe the blood for us, Ray? Precipitin test won't run more than 20 minutes. Take 3-4 hours to run blood grouping, though. That's it. Anything else you want to check? Anything else? Yeah, right here under this tin can. Empty shell. 22, huh? Yeah, it might tie in, might not. Mark it and dump it in this envelope, will you? Sure. There you go. You got a missing duck yet for the boy, Harry? Yeah, Doherty did about half an hour ago. Here's a description right here. Thanks. Mother know about the blood stains? No, we didn't tell her. She's worried enough already. She has no idea what might have happened to her boy, huh? No more than we do. Checked all the friends, relatives. We're covering the neighborhood. No trace so far. Not much to go on. Blood stains, empty cartridge. It could mean 100 things. Any ideas, Friday? Just one, and I don't like it. 4:30 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. The neighborhood search for 9-year-old Stanley Johnstone continued. Ray Pinker went back to the crime lab to start the precipitin test and the blood grouping. Levinson and his partner Doherty from Highland Juvenile stood by. We called Chief of Detective Thad Brown, and he ordered up a special detail to aid in the search for the missing boy. Frank and I questioned the boy's mother, Mrs. Ruth Johnstone, a woman in her early 40s. She seemed fairly calm under the circumstances. Mrs. Johnstone, is your boy Stanley in the habit of wandering off without telling you where he's going?
No, he's not in the habit of wandering off, but he has done it before.
When was the last time, Miss Johnstone?
You don't have any children, do you, Sergeant Friday?
No, ma'am.
Well, there comes that time in every young boy's life when he feels that it's time to leave home. Go out on his own. Usually happens somewhere around 8 to 10.
Yes, ma'am. I think I know what you mean. I have a boy.
Then you know how it is. My husband and I scolded Stanley one afternoon after school, and he was quite put out about it. Thought George and I were unfair. Packed a few of his things and left.
Well, how long was he gone, ma'am?
Oh, no time at all. About 2 hours. I was worried about him, but my husband said to leave him alone. Said every boy had to go through that stage.
Well, then you think he's gone away from home again this time, do you?
Yes, I think so. He's been gone about 4 hours now, and I have a funny feeling about it.
Did you and his father happen to have some misunderstanding with the boy recently?
Well, that's just it. We haven't. I don't mind telling you now that we're talking about it. I'm getting worried.
Any place around that you might like to visit? A hobby shop or a playground, something like that, where he might be?
Yes, there's Johnson's model shop, Little Helen Woods, but I've already called there, and he hasn't been seen all day. I've called all of his friends, and they have no idea either.
Mm-hmm. We'd like a list of all of his friends and the places that he was known to frequent, ma'am.
That's all right. I'll give them to you. Where do you suppose he is?
Where's your husband now, Mrs. Johnstone?
At work. George works for the city. He's a fireman.
Uh-huh. What house is he stationed at?
Engine Company 12. He's working the A platoon. He'll be home tomorrow morning. I haven't told him that Stanley's gone.
Was there any chance that the boy might be down at the firehouse with his father?
No, he seldom goes down there anymore. No, I don't think he's there. I'm awfully worried. May I call my husband?
Well, certainly. You go right ahead.
I know George will be worried. Stanley's been gone too long. Hello. May I speak with George Johnstone? This is Mrs. Johnstone. Thank you. I hate to call George at his work.
Yes, sir. Does your husband own a gun, ma'am?
Yes, he does.
What caliber, would you know?
It's a .45 automatic. He's got it now. George? Well, this is Ruth. George, is Stanley down there with you by any chance? Oh, no, I can't find him anywhere. He wasn't here when I came home from doing my shopping. There are 2 policemen here. No, I said there are 2 policemen here. No, dear, I'll call you if we don't find him soon. Oh, all right. Yes, you too. Bye. I didn't think he'd be with George.
Oh, that .45, is that the only gun in the household?
Yes. Why are you asking about guns? Has anything happened that you're not telling me about?
No, ma'am, just routine checking. We'll have to take a look at that 45, if you don't mind.
Maybe I should tell you we do have another gun in the house, but it's all wrapped up. George got it just on his Christmas present.
Well, if we can look at it, please.
Yes, will you have to unwrap it?
I'm afraid so.
I think I can reach it. You had to hide it. Let me see. Well, here's the paper it was wrapped in. Family must have found it. It's gone. You see? Here's the gift card and the box the gun came in. The rifle.
Could I look at the box, ma'am? Thank you. How about it, Joe? 22 caliber. Thursday, December 22nd, 5:15 p.m. It was getting dark. The search for the missing boy continued. We checked the list of Stanley Johnstone's friends. None of them or their parents had any idea of his whereabouts. We talked with Levinson again. He'd been in touch with the detail combing the neighborhood, but they'd found nothing. We went down to Hollis Avenue and 10th Street, service station on the corner. You want a dime, Joe? No, I got one. You watch the chief around it. Yeah. How are you coming?
Thanks. It's evidence test. It's human blood. Working on a blood group now. You know what type the Johnstone boy had?
Well, we didn't want to upset his mother. Thought I'd wait till the last thing. We're in the neighborhood.
Check with the family physician. That way you won't disturb her.
Yeah, we figured on that. Keep him in the bag. Yeah, thanks. The boss just pulled up. Ray, Thad Brown's out here now. Check you later, huh?
Right, Joe.
Right.
Thanks.
How's it going? We just checked with Ray Pinker.
Yeah, I know. It's human blood. What do you think?
We talked with the boy's mother, Mrs. Johnstone. Found the gun missing. Yep. Caliber's the same as the empty casing Levinson found, 22.
He said the gun was missing.
Yeah, the Johnstones were going to give it to the boy as a Christmas present. They had it hidden, but it's gone now.
Any idea who took it?
Well, whoever it was, they left the Christmas wrapping behind. I think maybe it was the kid.
22 rifle, huh? 9-year-old boy. When are they going to learn? First, it's carbide cannons on the 4th of July. The city issued ordinance after ordinance, but a few thousand kids around the country had to lose their eyes, fingers, hands, before the parents could give us their full cooperation to outlawns.
I know what you mean.
Sure you do. You and every other cop in the country became the heavies trying to clamp down on them. So it's the same story. This time it's guns for Christmas.
Oh, I know what you're thinking, Chief, but we're not sure yet.
Listen, Friday, there's a city ordinance against giving a gun to a kid. Now, you know that.
Yeah, I know that.
There's a missing boy and a missing gun. There's blood on the ground and an empty shell. That's enough for me.
We're going to stay with it, Chief. Something's got to break.
Yeah. I hope it's not the house of that kid's parents.
Hi, Chief. I've been looking for you, Friday. Yeah, what do you got, Harry?
Found the gun, a new 22 rifle. I'd say it's been fired recently. Where'd you find it, Levinson? Back up there in that scrub oak behind the Johnstone house. Mrs. Johnstone identified it. Buckley took it down to the crime lab.
Thanks, Harry. Miss Johnstone okay?
She's pretty sick now. Kilby came up with something else. What's that? There's another one missing. An 8-year-old boy.
6:30 p.m. We talked with Officer Kilby about the other missing boy. He told us that his name was Stephen Martin, 8 years old. His family had just moved into the neighborhood. It seemed that no one besides the Martin family knew that the boys played together. Mrs. Martin told us that Stephen told her that he was going out to play and he'd be home by 6 o'clock for dinner. She told us that he was an unusually prompt boy and almost never overstayed his playtime. We got a description of the Martin boy and put out a missing broadcast. We called the Johnstone's family doctor. He told us that Stanley's blood was type O. At 7 p.m., we talked again with Mrs. John Martin.
Are you sure Mrs. Johnson doesn't know where the boys are?
She has no idea, Mrs. Martin.
Oh, this is terrible. It's awful. I feel there's more to this thing, something you're not telling me.
Well, there's no use to upset you until we know a few more things for sure, ma'am.
Then you are holding something back.
Well, please try not to worry, Miss Martin. There's certain questions we have to ask, routine questions in any kind of investigation.
Is there anything else you want to know?
Yes, ma'am. What's your boy's blood type?
Funny question. Do you think anything's happened to him? Have you found him and you're not telling me?
No, ma'am. We haven't found him, and we don't think anything's happened to him.
His blood type, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think I have it written down in Stevie's baby book. Yes. Yes, here it is. The type is O.
Type O, thank you. I wonder if I can use your phone.
Oh, yes, of course. It's in the hall.
Be right back, Frank. Yeah.
Hello.
2667, please.
2667.
Hi, Ray. It's Friday.
Yeah, did you get the blood types of the two missing boys?
Yeah, both type O.
So were the stains, Joe. Type O.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action. The modern way to sell cigarettes is the Chesterfield way, both regular and king size. And we're the only one that does it. We tell you what Chesterfields are made of to give you premium quality in both popular sizes. Our scientists select the best materials. They select for Chesterfield the world's best tobaccos, blend them just right, and they keep Chesterfields tasty and fresh with the best of moistening agents. Now here's something else that's completely modern about Chesterfield. People smoke 8 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. Still no sign of either of the missing boys. Chief Detective Thad Brown went back to headquarters to direct the search from there. He dispatched another detail of 50 men to aid in the hunt for the missing youngsters. 8:30 p.m. It was getting colder. The citrus growers were warned to expect a freeze. We went back up the block to see Mrs. Johnstone. Her husband had quit work early and returned home. We talked with him. He could tell us nothing more than we already knew. We still had not informed either of the families about the blood stains and the empty cartridge casing which had been discovered in the backyard of the Johnstone home. It was more than possible that they had a right to know about our findings, but Frank and I felt there was no cause to add to their distress at this particular time. If the two missing boys were found alive and well, then the blood stains in the cartridge would be of no concern to the relieved panic. At 8:40 p.m., Frank and I left the Johnstone house and went to the home of Mr. and Mrs. John Martin.
Mrs. Martin, you said your husband worked at a market.
Yes. He telephoned about 15 minutes ago and said he was closing up right away. He'd be here any minute. I do wish Stevie would call or come home. It's so cold out tonight. All he had on was a thin cotton jacket.
Well, try not to worry. We're doing everything we can. He'll be all right.
Stevie's father's such a sensitive man. He and the boy are so close. I know he's terribly upset.
Yes, ma'am. Are you sure there's no place you might have forgotten? Some place where the boy might be?
No. No place. No. If anything's happened to the boy, it'll just kill John.
Mrs. Martin.
You just sit still. I'll get it.
Thank you.
Joe? Yeah, Harry.
Johnstone case been found.
He's home, Sergeant. He's come home. Thank God he's all right.
Well, where's he been? Did he tell you?
No, he didn't. His clothes are all dirty, and he's acting strange. I've never seen him like this.
How do you mean, Mrs. Johnstone?
He just came in the front door and said, "Hello, Mom," and then he sat down in a chair and stared at the floor. He talked to his father and me.
Mind if I talk to him?
No, go ahead. I asked him about the little Martin boy. He wouldn't tell me a thing.
Well, where is he now?
Right over there in the living room.
Oh, yeah. Looks all right.
Yes. Son, this is a police officer. He wants to talk to you. Don't be afraid, dearie. He only wants to ask you some questions. Son. You see, Sergeant?
Yes, ma'am. Stanley? Come on, boy, look at me. Come on, youngster, get your head up. Oh, that's better. You had your mother pretty worried, you know that? You want to tell us where you've been?
So we should try to get him to eat a little something.
Did you hear that, son? You want something to eat? Stanley, there's another little boy up the street who hasn't come home. Do you know where he is? His father and mother are worried about him, too, just like your folks were. You gotta help us find him, son.
I killed him. I killed Steve with the .22. Went on and claimed that I killed him.
Now, how do
do you know you killed him? Maybe he's only hurt now, isn't he?
No, he's dead. I know he's dead. The gun went off. He forgot we put bullets in it.
Well, where is he, Stanley?
I hit him. I was scared. I didn't want anybody to find him.
Where did you hide him, son?
In a cave up on the hill. I didn't mean it. He was my pal.
Do you want to show us where, Stanley?
Yes, sir. I'll show you. Please don't send me to jail.
9:15 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. 9-year-old Stanley Johnstone led the way up the hill behind the backyard of his home. He showed us the wagon he'd moved the body in. His father came along with us. About 50 feet from the crest of the hill, the boy pointed to a thicket of scrub oak. There we found a small cave holding the body of Stephen Martin. There was a single bullet wound in his chest just below his heart. He was dead. We covered the body. Stanley, how did it happen?
I knew my folks were going to give me a bill for Christmas. I knew where it was and I got it. There was a box of bullets with it.
Were you pointing against Stevenson?
No, sir. No, sir, I wasn't. It was Steve's turn to play with it. I was chasing him. He tripped over that fence and he fell. The gun hit him in the stomach and went off.
Now, why do you think you killed him if you're telling us the truth here?
I'm telling the truth. Honest, it's the truth.
All right, I believe you, son. But why do you think you killed him?
It was my gun. He gave me life. I didn't go get it. I should have waited till Christmas. It's all my fault.
Where have you been all this time?
In the cave with Steve.
What were you doing in there, son?
I was praying. I was praying for God to make him alive again.
After a thorough investigation, Frank and I were convinced that the shooting of Stephen Martin was accidental. Ray Pinker's findings substantiated the Johnstone boy's story, even to the smallest detail. We put in a call to the coroner's office and acquainted him with the facts. He designated a local mortuary to handle the body pending autopsy and granted us permission to remove the body to the Martin home. Mrs. Martin collapsed. The family doctor was called. Frank and I sat in the living room to wait for John Martin, the dead boy's father. Ada? Ada? Mr. Martin?
Yes. You the police?
Yes, sir.
Where's Edith? Where's my wife? Has my boy come home? Well, have you found him?
Yes, sir.
Where is he? Steve? Stevie? Where's Steve? He's hurt, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Where is he? I want to see him.
He's hurt pretty bad, Mr. Martin.
Where is he? I want to see him. How bad?
Pretty bad.
He's dead. All right, if I go in.
Yes, sir, if you want to.
Will you go with me?
Yes, sir. Don't make it any harder on yourself, Mr. Martin.
I want to see my boy. Listen to me, son. I got a lot of nice things for Christmas. Anything you wanted. I could get just 3 new cars for the train. The one with the searchlight on it really works, son. I got you the switch you wanted. Never put a trap in no. Oh, you can never this way.
Mr. Martin.
What happened?
It was an accident. He was playing with a Johnstone boy up the street, playing with a gun. It went off.
What was the other boy's name?
Stanley Johnstone. It was an accident. Mr. Martin, where are you going?
I want to see that boy.
We had no idea what the dead boy's father had in mind. We didn't feel that we should try to restrain him. We went along with him up the street to the Johnstone home.
I'm Stevie's father. Where's your boy?
I'm sorry.
Where's your boy?
He's right here. Won't you come in?
All right, Miss Johnstone.
You the boy that was with Stevie?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Stanley. I'm sorry, Mr. Martin.
I know it wasn't your fault, Stanley. I wonder if you'd do something for me.
Yes, sir.
I've got a lot of nice presents for Stevie. I know he'd want you to have them. I want to give them to you. Christmas Eve.
Mom? I think that'd be a fine idea, son.
Come on, Frank. Yeah. Well, what's it all prove, Joe? You don't give a kid a gun for Christmas.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent. On December 24th, the coroner's inquest was held in the county morgue, county of Los Angeles, state of California. In a moment, the results of that inquest. At the coroner's inquest, it was officially recorded that Stephen Martin's death was the result of an accident. Stanley Johnstone was absolved of any legal responsibility for his friend's death. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, William Johnstone, Sammy Ogg. Script by Jim Moser. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.